Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go berserk. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Say a prayer go to church. You don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Reaching new heights never seen. We deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Yeah, feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, yes, of the Downtown Deuce Show with the boss. Hope everybody is having a good week so far. As you guys can see, no song, no intro song, no shades, because we only do that for dubs. And tonight, unfortunately, surprisingly, as you might imagine, against the Washington Wizards, the Pistons did not pick up one. But before we get to that, boss, how you feeling?
Oh, man, what a bummer. What a bummer game. But overall, I feel okay. I'm still sad about Ivy's departure, but I've come to terms with it. I'm rooting for Herter. He's on our team. We should always root for people that are on our team. So, yeah, on to the next. Now I'm honestly, my biggest concern is just Duren. It sounded like it was just knee soreness, so they just kept him out for cautionary reasons, but yeah, I need him tonight and hoping to wake up to some Dennis Jenkins signing news.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to him too.
Yeah,
for sure.
How are you feeling?
I'm a little disappointed. I'm disappointed, man. We're gonna get into initial thoughts and all that stuff, but after a game like this, don't feel great. They all are, all count for one, but some games you got to just go ahead and just win, right? And this was a game tonight, so we'll get to that. Before we do chat, we see y'all in the chat, man. As always, showing out. We are just going to put up a poll here now, and you guys can have at it. The reason for Pistons loss tonight, guys. What do you guys think was the reason for tonight's loss? You guys can go ahead and fire away at that. So for those who missed this game, the Pistons hosted the Wizards tonight, Washington Wizards. This was their third of 4 straight home games. And they laid an egg tonight, man. 126 to 117. And they dropped to 37-13 on the regular season. As far as the injury report, boss, Dennis Jenkins was ruled out for this one. He was designated to the Motor City Cruise. And you might be wondering, guys, why he was sent back to the Cruise, considering how he's playing. And it's just because the Pistons haven't signed him yet to a standard contract. They've reached the limit of games that can play him as a two-way player. So I think doing this just gives them more time to kind of negotiate and come to terms on a standard contract so he can finish out the season because he's going to be needed. And when they do, I personally think that Dario Saric is going to be the one to get cut. It's going to get waived, in my opinion, to make room for Dennis Jenkins, boss. So any thoughts on any of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at too. Again, I kind of root for everybody on our team, but I'll be straight up as someone who has witnessed Sarge in Denver. I'd be disappointed if we waived someone else. there needs to be a way for someone. We can't miss out on Jenkins. We basically, I think, have the rights to him. He's on our two-way, so we can sign. So, guys, just a quick recap because I went over it today too. He turned down a two-year minimum.
Mm-hmm.
The most two-way players across the league can get is the 1 year minimum if they get converted for any two-way. So he can get that and then become basically a restricted free agent that we have the first rights to, and we can pay him more. He may just have, been betting on himself like, no, I want to get paid now for security, which is probably just that negotiation. But there should be, no reason why we don't sign him. But Sarr should be who I waive for him. So kind of just waiting for that. And we did get a little glimpse of Herder tonight. I did have some good things that I saw about him as well. But yeah, just a bummer loss in terms of, what gets me is that if we didn't let them get such a big lead early, and it wasn't one person, guys. It definitely wasn't one person, two people, three people. It was just kind of the way the whole game started. If we didn't let them get a big lead early, we may have pulled this one out. The Wizards also, the Wizards were the team that we caged out like 45 shots off of, right? Like was that the Danish Jenkins game winner?
The game where he tied, the game tire. I think
the game tire. Yeah,
I think that was that game.
Yeah. So the Wizards have been giving us problems for some reason, which we used to do too when we were the worst in the league. And they had some really good two-way spot-on shooters tonight that just took advantage of their time. But we still should have put this game away early and then let it flow, especially with Cade questionable. The ideal situation was that we got ahead early and could let him rest, but instead it was the exact opposite. So
yeah. So I just thought that, we'll get to it, but yeah, Dennis Jenkins was missed for sure in this game. Tobias Harris also was out for this game with left hip soreness. So Stu got the start along with JD up front. And on Washington's side, Trae Young did not play in this game. He's been out for a while. He's going to be out until after the All-Star break. So
they also got rid of 6 players at the deadline.
Yeah, so they didn't have a lot of the normal guys. They would have needed a lot of guys to step up tonight, and that is what happened. So let's check on the poll and see what the results are. So, boss, as far as this poll, the reason for the Pistons loss, according to the chat, 48% says lack of urgency. 33% says the Wizards played their best game. And 20% said we're missing Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren, and Dennis Jenkins.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's fair. I think you guys are pretty on there, pretty accurate. So,
yeah,
as far as what I saw a lot. I have a lot to say about this game. I know it's just one game. I know the trade just happened.
Mm-hmm.
To me, a lot of that stuff doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
If playing with your food was a basketball game, it would have been tonight's game against the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely a game to forget, man. Definitely want to move on from this game. One of the worst games they played all year. Every team has this, where they have games where they don't play well, and the other team plays great. This was definitely one. They haven't had many, maybe 2 or 3 games, maybe all year they've had where they just stunk it up all game.
I agree.
Didn't play full 48 minutes, didn't play maybe even 30 to 25 minutes. But it was just a bad game. No energy. Came out flat. Very inconsistent. They were down like 17 points, I think, in the first quarter. They gave up 36 points to the Wizards in the first quarter.
Disgusting.
So and they didn't shoot it well. 5 for 17 in the first quarter overall. 1 of 7 from 3. While the Wizards shot 50% overall and from 3-point range in that first quarter.
Yeah.
In the transition, defense was bad. They just weren't getting back on defense. Bad execution offensively. No resistance to fit. Like it was just a bad game. They played down to their competition. Yeah. It showed. And that's no slight to the Wizards. They played well. They had some guys step up, right? But they didn't. The Pistons never led in this game.
Mm-hmm.
They never led. Not one time did they lead in this game. Wire win for the Wizards. For the Wizards, depleted Wizards team on the road, right? And I was hoping, boss, they would take control of this game early, the Pistons, because guess who's coming to town tomorrow night?
Yeah, the Knicks.
The Knicks.
And
the Knicks are hot, guys.
8-game
winning streak. And once again, it's going to be another national game against the Knicks. So I'm sure they have not forgotten about the BTA they just got from the Pistons a few weeks ago on national TV. So they are going to be up for this game for sure. So
yeah, that's like the Knicks. We went 3-1 with them last year before the playoffs. We do play well against them, but like tonight gives fans no confidence, as it shouldn't. What happened, and yeah, you can. Duren, of course, got injured in the second half, and I'll get there, but B-Ball Paul played the same amount of minutes of him and outplayed him. So
yeah,
things like that, that's just like it was just bad from the start for some of our guys. I think Tobias, I'm kind of with people too on missing some people, the slow start. And then like, I think Tobias's half court stuff would have really helped. We've talked about Danish Jenkins would have helped. I didn't hate Sass out there. I also thought that I honestly personally thought that LeVert did a great job ball handling too, to give Cade some breaks, but we were missing, we get rid of Ivy and then Jenkins is out. Those were our two, kind of main ball handlers. So just a little bit of adjustments to go, but I totally agree with you. Like they should have just, gotten out a lot stronger. It kind of felt like they were playing with their food. Even JB like left the starters in way past he would have if it was any other team. And I think they just underestimated that. I just think that we shouldn't underestimate teams like this because we've been that team. And also we were that team earlier this season. We were that team with Jenkins and B-Paul where 4 of our starters were out and we had to get guys in. Like we were that team that pulled off the win. So that's, I guess, the most disappointing thing is like the Wizards really never slowed down on shooting. And even, though our defense at times was bad, our defense still was good and they were just making these shots. And we've seen that happen to us before too. So I just think that we underestimated people. And I just remember before the game too, listening to Blaha talk and stuff and Kelser, they were saying how like they were saying they hope the Pistons aren't on tomorrow's game. And Kelser was like, oh no, they talked about it. Like they're going to play this game. But without that, I would think like, did they talk about it? Because it feels like they thought that this would be an easy win with the Wizards, trading away 7 guys and also having, not being, they still had their core, like Keyshawn George and Alex Sarr and Koulibaly, like those are their core basically. And they're still, they were on it tonight. Like you said, before the fourth, they were shooting like 57% from 3, which is disgusting. So
yeah, it was bad. I mean, but that was the frustrating part for me because even though we were down guys, we still should have won this game.
Exactly.
We still should have won this game. You saw that because in the second quarter, they cut a 22-point lead down to about 3 points in about 5 or 6 minutes. Quickly. Like the flip just got switched or the switch just got flipped and it was all done with their defense, right? That was the frustrating part for me because the Pistons are just a better team. So if they match the energy, they win this game, regardless of who's down. We've won games without guys all year long. Part of that 13-game winning streak we had earlier this year was done with guys out throughout that whole process. So our depth has been our strength all year. So I'm not going to say we had guys, I understand, but regardless, we're used to that. That's what we've done all year. And we saw one of the bright spots in this game was just a duo that I think a lot of us would like to see more of. We understand why they don't because of shooting, but 9 to 5.
Yep.
Asar Thompson and Ron Holland were huge in this game.
They were the bright spot.
Without them, we lose by 30.
Yep.
We lose by 30. It's not even a game in the fourth quarter. It's nothing to try to come back to. So they were big. They were the bright spot that kind of gave us the energy. And then other guys came on like Paul Reed and Javante Green and guys like that. But it just wasn't enough of that. We needed more guys to kind of come along with them and help them along the way. And they didn't do it consistently enough. So, and I want to mention this too, boss. A lot of talk about Danish Jenkins and, his contract and things like that. Tonight showed why he's so important.
Yeah.
Tonight showed why a deal will get done with him. Because whenever K sat down, there was no point guard in the game to run the second unit. Nobody was there. It was nobody who could do that. They tried to go with Marcus Sasser. They tried to go with LeVert, those guys together. But neither of those guys are pure point guards. Neither of those guys are table setters or floor generals. So it was tough. We know Sass can score. He's a bucket.
Yeah.
Karis LeVert is a combo guard. He looks to score first, and then he'll look to facilitate after. But usually our bench is what gives us that boost. Usually our bench is what picks up our starters if need be. But without a point guard to lead that charge, it's hard to do that. So if they were going to win this game, it was going to have to be them leaning in even more to their style of play as far as turning teams over, as far as getting out in transition, where you don't need to have a point guard on the court per se, because anybody can get out and run and get easy buckets. But we saw tonight, once again, why Danish Jenkins is so important to this team. We saw it last year when Jaden went down before Schroeder got here, and it was just Cade. When Cade sat down, the same thing happened. The offense looked clunky. Guys were running ISOs, just didn't look good, right? Guys standing around watching. There was no structure, no organization offensively. So that's why Danish Jenkins is going to be. That's why he's so important to this team.
Yeah. Completely agree. Especially, with the loss of Ivy, like we need another point guard. And Ivy was someone that we didn't want to start for Cade. He was someone that we were like, we wanted him to start with Cade, not for Cade. He shouldn't have to play the point guard role. But again, it was just a kind of a double slap, and just harder tonight without that and without Jenkins. I don't know. I mean, I could say that, Jenkins could have produced, again, he produces on both ends, so he could have produced more for us. I can't call it. I can't say because this guy was out, we lost, because the Wizards were hot. They outplayed us. Their energy was high the entire game. Like what I saw from them is what I usually see from us. And our bench unit came in and they did really well at cleaning it up again. And then we brought in Asar with Ron. Tonight was Ron's first double-double ever recorded, and we'll get to that too, but kind of a bummer that we lost on that. Like you would think, the way that he plays. So we just couldn't keep up, and they had some young guys take advantage of minutes that they haven't had this season out there for them as well.
Exactly.
So honestly, props to the Wizards. There's nothing I can say. They played well, and what they're showing right now too is also scary, knowing that they could have a healthy Trae Young and AD unit with them too. They made the moves to up and come, and yes,
yep.
And also and thinking optimistically, they won't be able to keep all these young guys a lot. Some of these young guys will be available later on, so it's just cool that they get to show up and show out, kind of like a Danish Jenkins, and see what they can do for the Wizards and going forward. But yeah, we absolutely should have won.
Yeah. So I agree with all those points. Yeah. A couple more things. I still had a lot to say about this game. It was hard. It was a hard watch. But I had a lot I had kind of filed away to talk about. So 2 more things. First thing, and I'll let you kind of respond to this. This is what you kind of hit on already, but this is why you put teams away early.
Yes.
This is why we always say we want to hit first. We want to dictate style of play. Let them know right away how to. This is why you want to do that. Right? Because if you let a young team who is inferior get confident, they're hard to beat. That's when their play goes up. In the second half, you saw how quickly that double-digit lead came again. It came right back. Right? We cut it down to 3, 4, 5 in the first half. Came out the gate slow again. Right? And that's when they had confidence in the locker room. In the locker room, they're like, hey, we can get this game. We can get this game.
Yeah.
We let off the gas, but we can get this game. We can play with these guys. That's what happens when you let teams just hang around and you let them dictate the game. So that was, they put us away early, Sean, mentally. That was the key. It was too hard to fight from. So come second half, they're executing better. They're playing better defense. They're making crazy shots. They had 67 bench points. 67 bench points. That's something we usually do.
I looked it up. These are names I've never heard of before. Like Will Riley, welcome to the league, bro. So Vukcevic, a different Vukcevic. It's spelled a little different.
I had to make sure it wasn't the same one. Wait a minute.
Dude was hitting from the threes and getting blocks.
So it was just the inconsistency, man. The Pistons gave up 34 points in the first quarter, 39 in the third quarter. And even though the defense could have been better in the third, it was a little bit better in the third, but the Wizards had the best half of their season. Probably, I would venture to say, right? And you could see, you knew it was one of those kind of games because every time they would make a shot, they would go right to the Wizards bench. And you see all the guys going like this. That's how you know they're having a game. That's how you know these guys are playing out of their minds when they're doing that, because that's not normally what these guys do in this situation against this kind of team. So you saw the shots they're making, up and under scoops, mid-range and ones, and just getting fouled and making a shot, buzzer beating threes, double clutch off the glass. They just couldn't miss. But once again, they have confidence because you allowed them to get confidence, because you allowed them to think that they were as good as you. And for that game, they can be. They can be. So the lack of urgency, maybe looking ahead to tomorrow's game, made them pay. They had to pay for that. So the Pistons, they got to understand that they're the hunted now. They're not the hunters anymore. We are at the top of the conference, right? By 4.5 games. Everybody knows that. It ain't just us that know that. They know that too. So they have the Pistons circled on their calendar now. Yeah. So the Pistons can't take anybody lightly anymore.
Absolutely. And it's pretty funny, guys. We come in here and we say, it's a bad game. We just got to bounce back. We should have won it. It's, losses like this happen. But if we also came in here and said, I'm not worried about this, you guys would have a problem with it. It's a loss. What do you want us to say? It's a loss. And I don't think it should have happened. These games do happen. We've been that team. We have literally been that team. How did we get 14 wins in our worst season ever? by pulling off upsets like this, you know?
Right.
But we should have, like, the start of the game was unacceptable. That's more so what it was for me. As the game went on, we picked up in a lot of areas, but the Wizards just didn't cool down. But the way we started was unacceptable.
Yep.
And that's why this loss was tough, because we just had a loss a few days ago that was like, yeah, that sucks. But like we played our game the whole way through. We didn't play our game until halfway through tonight. I feel like not even 3/4. Like,
Two.
Yeah.
1.5.
The end of the second and then the end of the third and fourth is basically what we tried to get. And
just not enough.
They just never cooled down. And again, if we had gotten, now that the league gets so by, and I know people, frustrated with JB's rotations in the first, and again, that's kind of where I was at too. But he also was like I was saying, I'm not worried for the longest time, because he's like, I'm not worried. We're better, because we are, but we just didn't. The shots that we needed weren't hitting. I don't like that Duncan put up 15 threes tonight. Unnecessary.
Wow.
Ridiculous. There's just some things about it that I don't like. And we usually bounce back, and we'll have a bounce back game against the Knicks tomorrow, but it would have been nice to just get this easy win, So, but you just never know with these guys. And so we'll get more into it one-on-one, but it definitely wasn't. I think that, you said it earlier, Ron and Asar had great games. Cade, I think, ended up finishing strong after a slow start. But then the loss kind of falls on us as a team. I don't think it was anything individual. I don't think it's way too early to this is coming from someone who wasn't excited about this trade, but it was way too early to blame Herter or say anything about his shooting tonight. He took 2 shots, and then it's way too, I think that LeVert had one of his better games since coming back. He could have been a lot. It wasn't multiple. It wasn't 1 or 2 people. It was a team thing, and it was the deficit that we got in with our starters out there. I want to remind you guys, our starters were the ones who got down 20.
Yeah.
So put it on them.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Last thing, I know, a lot of these guys are friends off the court. I know it's a different mindset when the game ends, but this fraternizing after the game, I'm not a fan of that. Smiling and joking and dapping everybody up after the game.
Yeah. After a loss.
I'm not with that. Not after a game like this.
Yeah.
Not after a game like this. Not after a performance. If that's me, I'm going to the locker room. I'm not talking to nobody.
Yeah.
I'm not in a good mood. I'm ticked off that we just lost this home game to a team we should have beat, put away in the first half. I'm not happy about that. So maybe it's just an old school thing in me. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I just would rather see. I would be happy if guys were visibly upset after a game like this, because this is not something that should happen. They should
have turned around. They should have done their wave and walked off. I'm not talking about a Bill Laimbeer and them walking off the court against the Bulls early, but I'm talking about just waving and a quick, good one, goodbye. Because like you said, I agree. There's just the only guys that could be proud of their game tonight, I would say, are Ron and Asar. They can be proud of what they put on the floor out there. And B-Ball. I will say B-Ball Paul too.
And Javante.
Yeah. And so, and those are the dog pound guys, that's what they can be proud of. And so those are the only ones that I'd be like, yeah, okay, they can go say their piece with other guys that they know on the other team. But otherwise, go back to the locker room and think about what you just did. Because I was also saying to, we'll get to box scores here soon, but I was also saying I was talking to you about it, to Eric Vincent about it. I was like, if I'm an out-of-state fan, and games are expensive, and usually when there's a team that is not as good, like the Wizards, the tickets are cheaper. If I was a fan at this game in the first half, I would demand a refund. I'd be like, what is this? They don't even look like they're trying in the first quarter. If I was amped to go see my team play at home and they played like that to start the game, I'd be mad.
Yeah.
I'd be mad.
Yeah.
So,
we have reason to be. Hopefully I'm pretty sure they do. It just doesn't seem to send the right message to me when that's what I see, after the game. What up though, Tom? What up? Yeah, bad loss for sure. Flush this one down the toilet and hopefully, flush this one out of your mind and bring it tomorrow. Definitely a trap game. But no excuse, man. No excuse. It was just a bad loss. We know there's 82 games. They're not going to bring it the same way every game. We know they get up for certain games. but you got to bring enough to win games you're supposed to win.
Mhm.
Right? Even if you don't go full tilt because you got a back-to-back. Okay, fine. But you can't just disrespect the other team,
Right.
the way they did, because I'm sure they felt that way once the Pistons kind of cut into the lead and came out flat again. It's like, oh, they're flat again? Oh, okay. It's just, you can't do that. You can't do that. So definitely a game to learn from. Hopefully we don't see this again the rest of the year.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll leave it there, boss. Let's check on this chat again and see what the updated numbers are on this. So reasons for Pistons loss tonight. 52% say lack of urgency, and 30% say Wizards played their best game. 18% saying they're missing because we missed Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren, and Dennis Jenkins. So once again, it's holding firm, and I think that's a fair analysis from you guys. We'll check back again later. Before we do that, though, boss, let's go ahead and get to some super chats we got here. We usually round off with these, but I don't want to miss these. So coming in hot, per usual, is our dog, Damadavi. Dominic, what's going on, bro? He says, you didn't show up, played lazy, and didn't try to lock in until you were down 20. You didn't respect your opponent as an NBA team, and because of that, you got blown out by a 13-win team with backups. Got what you deserved. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, you can't just turn it off and then turn it on whenever you want to. Like, teams can sense when you're doing that too. The opposition can sense when you're doing that too, and that can be perceived as disrespect. It can give them an extra chip on their shoulder, and they can end up playing their best game. Like all the things that happened, it was a recipe for disaster for sure. So I agree with that for sure. Yeah, this is what happens. Like this is good for them. I'm glad. Believe it or not, I'm glad they didn't come back and win this game. I'm glad they didn't come back down the stretch and win this game, because that may have gave them even more confidence. Like, yeah, we can just hang around. We know how good we are. Yeah, we can just come. Even if they don't say it to each other, that lingering thought may be in their head the next time they're in a situation. Yeah, and that could dictate how they play. So I'm glad that this happened. I'm glad we didn't come back toward the end and pull it out as we've done, in previous games. This is a game, this shouldn't ever be this close, regardless of how they're playing. You start the game off right in the first half, they're not comfortable in the second half. It's a domino effect.
I mean, we just played, the Nets, and I'm not, the Wizards again. They had some much better shooters tonight than the Nets did, but we got it done early. Like, that's the whole point. The whole point should be, like you said, to not play down, to just get it done early. Let them work. It was just a really ugly start. And again, I wasn't worried for a while, but then when I realized that the Wizards weren't cooling down and our defense wasn't getting it done, even our good defense, they were still hitting over us. I was like, this is not it. And if it was any other, and again, like you said, Dom here, didn't respect your opponent. If it was any other team, like if we were down to like the Heat or the Knicks or the Celtics by 20 in the first, there would have been more timeouts, more substitutions, more aggression, like more how do we fix this? But I think that it kind of went from top to bottom of like, I think JB did challenge our starters to get back into the game and wake up. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like he also thought that we would pull this off. That's why he challenged them to do it. So, I mean, like I said, even after the first, I was like, we still got this. We got this. But
yeah, it seemed that way early. Like Duncan Robinson came out, knocked down a few threes, but the Pistons weren't getting stops off of it. It wasn't any run that they were generating. They weren't putting together stops and, getting out in transition and scoring off of those, and just the domino effect of the cycle we've seen all year, where it happens in a flurry. We were still just trading baskets, even though we were hitting shots. So, I was a little nervous once they kept making shots, because you see the defense of effort for the Pistons kind of go up, but they were just hitting shots. And it's like, at some point, it's like, okay, not much you can do, right? So especially when you're down that much. So, and for them to lose that game with the Knicks coming in tomorrow, if they were preserving energy, it backfired. Yeah. Because, they had to use a lot of it late in this game with that energy just to get back into it. And so that's why I'm glad that it actually played out this way.
Yeah. After our runs weren't doing it enough, especially in the third, I was like, take Kate out. This man was questionable with a wrist injury, and you could tell early on all of his shots were short. They were off the front of the rim, all of them. And eventually he got going. He worked through it. But if you're questionable, if you're all-star point guard is questionable, and you're gonna be on national TV competing against the guys who are right behind you in the Eastern Conference, like, and this is how you're gonna play, rest him. That's where I'm at. But again, if they had Jenkins, I think it would have been a little bit more like, okay,
sure.
we will. So, and then
sure.
and we did have a couple pushes, but we just could not get the stop. So,
yep.
So
Dom, we agree, 100%. I left it up a little bit longer than usual because I felt like this was really dead on in a nutshell how this played out. So as always, bro, we appreciate you, man. As always, you are right again, sir.
Yes.
Let's go to Camille as well. Chat boss says, I'm really down about the game and I'm not 100% right now, but I want to show my support in the Isaiah Stewart Learning Center while I have the chance. Have a great day, everyone. By the way, really quickly, boss, let's go ahead and talk about that really quickly before we get into some box scores. We usually do it early, but I think because of this game, kind of cut us off guard, both of us off guard.
Yeah,
so
we haven't done box scores yet, so we usually do it before that.
Yeah, so get into it. Go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, guys. So for the month of February, it's a shortened month and less games because of All-Star break. We're doing a fundraiser for the Isaiah Stewart Learning Center. It's co-founded by Isaiah Stewart and Dr. Bernice Green Sr. It's an after-school program for grades 1 through 12. They do tutoring, homework help, hot meals, transportation, just enrichment, just really great for the community. And so 50% of all super chats will be going to their learning center this February, just for Black History Month, for Valentine's Day, just to help give back. I mean, you guys know that, especially as Pistons fans, we know how Stu is off the court as well. He just has the biggest part. He's huge for our community. So we're just going to give back to that. So any super chats there. I think I'll still send the link to you. I'll make sure I'll double check, but you can go to their website. They have an Instagram as well, but we'll get the link there to donate separately. If you do, just let us know because I definitely want to shout you out at the end of the month. But
for sure, we appreciate y'all.
That's a positive in a loss or a win is just to help the community that way.
Got to get as many positives in as we can after this game. So definitely appreciate you guys. Just got one that just came in from Ash Kush. We appreciate you, bro. Solidarity for Stu, 100%, man. He does a lot for the community. He really cares about the people. So we got to show that respect and that love back to him. So appreciate y'all, man, for sure. All right, boss. Back to this game. Let's get into some box scores tonight, man. And break this game down a little bit more, see how it played out, and hear from you guys in the process. So let's start with Cade tonight, boss. Tonight, Cade finished with 31 points on 10 for 21 shooting overall, 1 of 4 from 3, 10 of 13 from the free throw line, 8 boards, 8 assists, and 4 turnovers for a 2-to-1 ratio, solid, and 1 block in 37 hefty minutes, boss, including despite having the wrist injury. So go ahead and take off on what you saw from Deuce tonight.
Well, NBA, I know he had a 3, and the NBA.com box score is way off because they're saying he's 0 from 3.
The one that was supposed to be a 3, he had a toe on the line.
Oh, you're right. Okay, because my stats are just way off here. You said he had 31 points?
Yeah.
Oh, see, they're showing 30. Weird.
Well, that's weird. Yeah, I have him here. Actually, I have him 1 for 4 from 3. So there was another one made? I don't know.
Weird. Okay. Anyways, but I'll just go off of what I see too. All right, Cade. I have no notes for him other than he has some timely baskets going on. Of course, he's Cade Cunningham. He does everything he can. It started off a little slow again. You can tell that he was, I don't know, his shots were just coming off short and flat for me at the beginning. But 30 points is just nothing to scoff at. 10 of 13 from free throws. Some of the free throws were timely misses again. Just gotta I can't be too mad at him. It's out of 13, 10 out of 13. I'm not too mad about it. He didn't miss 2 in a row or anything like that. So he shot 21. That's, less than half of what he shot last time against the Wizards. He was trying hard. He was getting frustrated towards the end, though. He was getting frustrated at teammates. He did have a technical foul, right, too, coming off. And that was another thing that I feel like contributed, that our defense was so lackluster and our physicality was so lackluster in the first. And when we did start becoming physical, they were calling fouls. It's because we did not set the tone early. So it was just very difficult for, he was getting his foul calls tonight. I really, he found guys when he could. Those guys, either delivered or they didn't. He got his shots. I really liked his floaters. I loved his drives to the basket, especially against young teams like that. Like, those are the guys that are going to fall for your pump fakes. They're going to try to move you at the rim, and you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. And so against the Wizards, he did take advantage of that aspect. It's just not something that he's going to, he's not going to get to the line. he's not gonna get 13 free throws tomorrow, is what I'm saying. So, yeah. So he did Cade things, but 38 minutes when you're questionable on a sore wrist and you have a back to back, I don't love it.
Yeah. It felt like a quiet 30 for me.
Right. Yes.
Right. It just wasn't quite as impactful.
Mm-hmm.
He looked very sluggish early. I don't know why. I don't know if he's what's going on with him physically, but just from what I saw, I always say I can tell when he's feeling good physically, when he's locked in defensively, when he's physically active defensively, when he's getting blindside steals, when he's helping off great, he's just physical, moving his feet and not trying to guard with his hands. Like that's when you see K really feeling good and into the game. I didn't see that in this game. I wasn't seeing him moving his feet the way I was seeing him kind of get blew by a little bit.
Not till later.
Guys who didn't have quick steps in this game, right?
Agreed.
It looked like the Houston game when we knew he was sick and we saw guys like Reece Shepherd just blowing by him. I was like, okay, something's wrong. Right?
Well, his questionable was half illness. So I wonder.
I thought it wasn't just the wrist. Okay.
It was wrist and half illness, because that just reminded me of that, because I do agree, because there was one where he literally let the guy blow right past him and
baseline
got a layup, and I was like, I was like, what?
Like, what happened?
So, like you just stepped out of the way. You're not in foul trouble, bud. Like I don't understand.
Maybe it's 30. Maybe it's the 37 minutes. I always say I want to see him playing above 35.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not gonna say he was tired, but Danis wasn't there. His backup point guard wasn't there. Nobody was there to give him a blow to where he can just chill and relax. It's more so, all right, how long can we hang close before we got to bring Cade back before this league gets too big again? That's what it felt like, right? So I don't know if it's because of that or because of the illness or whatever. He just didn't look like himself. It looked like he was trying to will himself through something, right? But he didn't look comfortable to me. So I don't know what it was, but he didn't look like Cade defensively. I know offensively he had 38 and 8. I get that. But I'm looking at his defense. That's what tells me how the game is probably going to go for him. That's what's telling me how he feels just watching him defensively. So offensively, I thought he was good. He was trying to get the ball downhill every time he could in transition, which is what you want to see. He was a little loose with the ball, kind of bouncing off his foot a little bit here and there, turnover stuff like that, which can't have too much of that. But I thought overall he was okay. Aside from how he was feeling, what was going on, just watching the game, I thought he was okay.
Yeah,
I thought he was okay. So,
agreed.
I don't know. But the second half, he was much better than the first half. Like first half, he was just very sluggish, like just not there. Second half, he did look more energetic and into the game. So I will give him that.
And that's kind of just reiterates what happened in the Wizards game last time. It's why he had to put up 45 points, because we were close enough to stay in it that he just kept shooting up. And, his baskets were falling today, and he was getting them. But, yeah, it's just, again, like, the runs that we were going on, the runs that they were going on, I just, for a guy who was questionable for illness and wrist injury, you should have just called it at some point. And I get it, because in the fourth, we kind of kept it close in terms of like it's still winnable up to a point. But again, our bench unit kind of provided the spark for us to get back in the second anyway. So I wouldn't have faulted if, we played Cade 38 minutes and we lost. I wouldn't have faulted JB if he played Cade 34 minutes and we lost. It's just, so I don't know. It was, and I'm sure they're not happy with it either. But it was just not a good start, and a better middle, I would say. The middle was better. But then
it just wasn't consistent for most of these guys tonight. So we'll leave it there. Okay, guys. Wasn't his best game. Let's see what we got from Duncan Robinson tonight, boss. Tonight, Duncan Robinson finished with 21 points on 6 of 15 shooting overall. All of those shots were 3-pointers, like boss mentioned. 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 1 board, 3 assists in 30 minutes. So he also played quite a few minutes tonight. What you see from Duncan Robinson?
Yeah, in the third, he had the 2 threes to start the half. I'm curious. I'll have to look up his split. I'm curious how many threes he shot in the first half and second half, because 15 is the most we've definitely seen him put up. So he was reliant on that 3-point, because honestly, it was Ivy and Jenkins and Cade and him were kind of our 3-point shooters before. So I can see why all of his shots were threes. The bummer they weren't falling, because on any other night, I would be thrilled with 6 threes made. I mean, I still am. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about him making 6 threes for us tonight. But it's just, 6 out of 15 is tough. He still finished with 21 points. He had that nice 4-point play as well in the fourth. That I was hoping would just, let us, kind of wake us up and be like, okay, lock in. But then, of course, we just let the Wizards, every time we got a basket, a game-changing, potential game-shifting basket, we let the Wizards have an easy one on the other end. So I personally don't have anything negative to say about Dunk tonight. He didn't have any turnovers. He had one foul. He stayed in front of his man pretty well. He just tried to shoot more.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say he tried to shoot more. I think he made a fair amount. I say like half contested, half uncontested. I think he was just trying to, get us out of a hole from the majority of the game. And unfortunately, I think the Wizards out rebounded us. Let me look at real quick at just the stats. So we had 47 rebounds total. Okay, they only had 39, but what was their offensive? They had 14 offensive and we had 11. Yeah, because it felt like they were getting a lot of second chance opportunities. And I feel like, when we have a guy putting up 15 threes, you need to be ready to rebound too. You need to be.
I mean, it was too much put on him though. Like, he shouldn't have to take 15 threes.
Agreed.
A lot of the shots he was taking weren't in rhythm. Like it was because he felt like you said he had to make something happen. But it wasn't where it was crisp offense, screens, good screens being said. He's coming off. He's got a little room. He's getting the shot up or putting it on the floor, but he didn't do it all tonight. We didn't see him putting the ball on the floor, playmaking, things like that either. So the offense looked different, right? Once again, when Cade sits down, you don't have a lot of guys who know how to run it the same way other than Dennis Jenkins. So once again, a lot of the shots he was taking just weren't shots we'd like to see him take. Like it's certain shots you see him coming off in rhythm and he's fading and he gets it up. It's like either whether it goes in or not, that's a good shot.
Right.
It wasn't too many notes tonight where it's like, that's a good shot.
Agreed.
Just because it didn't look the same. So I'm not going to blame him too much because he has to get set up. You got to set him up for him to be effective offensively, right? And so if he's not, he's trying to create on his own, and that's not what he does. The same way guys like Javonte Green who were taking shots that were not the norm for him, like step back threes. It's like it just didn't look the same. So that's because we were in the half court so much because we couldn't get stops because the energy wasn't there. So it's the whole domino effect of the energy not being there. You don't have energy, you can't get stops. Now you got to run in the half court with guys out.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the biggest key. It's like he took 15 threes, but he felt probably he had to because the team was stuck in the mud and the quality of his shots just wasn't the same.
And, we have seen Duncan be able to get to the rim easier. We've been seeing him get paint points. Like you said, that's my other issue tonight is that it was 6 of 15 overall, not just threes, but overall. And then he made 3 other points at the free throw line. There was definitely in the first, we were not moving well. We were stagnant. It looked just like we weren't in sync again. Like it looked like we were the ones who traded away 7 players and we had 2 new players on them. Like our starting lineup was normal. I mean, we had Isaiah Stewart in for Tobias, but that we played with that before. We looked like we hadn't it just didn't look good. And Duncan, has been able to do, provide for us in the paint, provide layups. He did have a nice offensive rebound at one point, but like I think he was just trying to take on that role, and I don't blame him because we needed points, we needed to get out of it, and he was hitting. He didn't really necessarily go cold for a while. He kind of was just miss one, make one, miss one, make one is kind of what it felt like. And so I just think that. Just this, especially in the first when he had a lot of his minutes, because again, they kept the starters in and Duncan and Caden pretty late in there. It's just when there was just really no movement. He didn't have many options other than to shoot it because it felt like they weren't even calling plays. Like it felt like no one knew what to do, which was just weird. Again, because it's against a team that we've played before, and it's a starting lineup that we've had before. So
yeah. So I'm not gonna blame him for this. He had a lot of things working against him tonight.
No,
but yeah, he was okay. Try to get shots up, try to get his team back into the game. This wasn't enough. Needed more help on the defensive side and energy side. So we'll leave it there on Duncan, guys, and we will move on to. Before we do that, let's get to these super chats. I'm gonna shout you guys out.
Yes,
Clifton, we appreciate you, bro, for the super chat for Stu, 100%. We appreciate you, brother, and always Claire as well, giving us some love, giving Stu some love. So we appreciate you guys, man. Keep it coming, man. It's all going to go to a great cause for Stu and all the things that he does for sure. So we appreciate you guys' support, and we will keep it coming. All right, boss. Let's go ahead and move on now to Asar Thompson in tonight's game. Guys, Finished with 13 points on 5 for 8 shooting, 3 or 4 from the line, 9 boards, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 3 steals, and 2 blocks for 5 stocks, and a ton of other intangibles in this game for Asar Tasmanian, backbone of the defense, Thompson. So go ahead and take off on what you saw from Asar in this game, boss.
So NBA is a little more gracious with him. They gave him 4 steals and 2 blocks. They gave him 6 stocks.
I ain't mad.
Yeah, me either. I'll take it. Because again, he's just been on a hell of a run. That would put him at almost like 23, 24 in the last
5.
The last game. Yeah, last 5. Sorry. Yeah, like the last 5 games. Nuts. Again, Asar was the difference maker tonight on our runs. He played 100% from beginning to end. He had a block on the first possession, which I was like, there's the tone setting.
Exactly.
And so
and
it was, it was on the perimeter on Champagne, whose twin brother plays for the Spurs. And they both, they
both nice too. They both nice
too. Yeah.
Twins coming back. I like it.
All for me, all I see is them shooting threes. I don't know any other aspect of the game, but when you make your threes like tonight, it's beneficial. It's good. It's nice to have them. He had a block in the second. He had like you said, a couple of knockaways, disruptions. He had one that led to the Ron steal and jam. Because even his, if they're not registered as steals, like he was disrupting the plays. He played excellent defense. He had like one shot that was blocked, but I think he would have gotten it. It was like a fadeaway at the free throw line. And it was blocked as he was going up, and he was just trying to get it up, which I appreciate from him. I was like, rather throw that than like give it a turnover on a travel, But yeah, I mean, he had the highest, other than Wendell Moore of 1 of 1, he had the highest field goal percentage for us tonight at 62.5%, like 5 of 8. That's amazing. He produced the offense and the defense tonight. He was 1 rebound away from a double-double himself, which I'm also surprised that he doesn't get more frequently. It is because of his offense. Like, to put up 13 points and 9 rebounds, incredible. And we mentioned it earlier, the 9 to 5. Like, Ron and Asar had a couple of their best games of the season, and we couldn't pull out a win for them, which is frustrating because those are the kind of guys that deserve it because they do put it all out there all the time. But that's basically where I'm at with Asar. If we had pulled this out, him and Ron would have been my only kind of
spots in this game.
Yeah, my only guys for the belt. If we had won, they'd be my only candidates, honestly. So I love
a lot of candidates tonight. Not a lot of candidates.
And he's been playing with a lot of confidence lately. Against the Nuggets, he played well. Against the Nets, he played well. So I think if he carries this over tomorrow, which after a night like tonight, you would hope that he carries it over to tomorrow, and that's I think I personally, I'll call it now. Like, I think we're gonna have a great game from him again tomorrow because he seems to be a little bit on a roll, especially after being named defensive player of the month. DPOM. Ever since then, he's been kind of a little bit like, actually, like what I'm doing is working, and it's working well, and it's getting noticed. So.
That's exactly. He's getting because he does so many things we talk about that just don't get seen, or we get used to it because he's just so good, right? And then we see the guys he clamps. We see how they look against other teams. It's like, oh, that dude can actually hoop. He was being guarded by. Sorry. So it was nice to see that he's getting the respect he deserves on that end of the floor. But by the way, guys, we're gonna get to all the trade talk. We see all the trade talk. We're gonna get to that once we finish up with this game. So keep it coming. We'll get to that eventually in the show.
Yes.
For me, with Asar, you said it, but he was the reason this game didn't get away early. Period. He was the reason we were in striking distance. Because we mentioned as a unit, they were not there. They did not have the energy. But he was the one that was pretty much holding down the fort defensively. And it was the whole game. We were struggling on both ends of this game. But I didn't see any letdown from Asar or Ron in this game. They were the really only bright spots. He got stops. Got out on the break. We didn't get out on the break the way we usually do. We weren't turning defense into offense consistently in this game. It would come in 3 or 4 minute spurts when the urgency would turn up when the game is getting close to being out of reach or almost over. But it wasn't consistent. But Ron and Asar were not the reason that it wasn't. They were the only ones really helping us get out in transition. Those two and Javante as well, right? Helping us get out in transition because you saw the few times that we did get out and score. The crowd was roaring. The crowd was going crazy, almost trying to will the team back into the game. Like, yes, guys, this is what we want to see. It was loud. Like, and it was loud because it wasn't happening frequently. They wanted to see more of that. We gotten used to seeing that all year. That's who we are. So it's like
That's what it
they
was.
were waiting.
Yeah.
They were waiting to explode. They were waiting to get into this game and be impactful in this game. But the Pistons had to give them something. And Asar and Ron and Javante, right now specifically Asar, he gave it to us all night long. So he deserves a lot of credit for that.
Agreed. Yeah, I completely agree. And like you said about the crowd too, it's because they were roaring because we've been used to, like, that's the play they're used to. Like, there they are. They're the Pistons. They're awake. They're back. And then, but it just was too late again. Like, it was just the Wizards were able, even when we cut it to 4, we cut it to 5 a couple of times. Like, they were just able to hit their shots. And again, I think that if we had not gotten down so early, we would have ended the first half with a lead. And it would have been a little bit of a different story. It would have been close. Yeah. We still maybe been disappointed in the way they played for a win. Yeah. But what happened early, like when we don't set the tone early, it's not good. And again, guys, like I don't think JB, like if this was against the Knicks, JB would not have kept our starting lineups in there until 2 minutes left in the first. Like everybody fully believed that they would pull this out. And it was just the factor of like, well, their team was also just hitting these two-way players that they pulled up from their bench to cover it while they were getting some of their new players in after trading people away, took advantage of the moment. So,
yeah, I agree. Perfect storm, man. So, that's what happens when you take anybody lightly. These are all NBA players that can all play. It's levels to it, but if you play down to that level, it won't feel like it's levels to it anymore. So, yeah, I totally agree. So we'll leave it there in the SAR. Really good game. Let's move now, boss, to Isaiah Stewart, who got the start tonight in place for Tobias Harris, who was out with that hip injury. So tonight, guys, Isaiah Stewart did not have one of his better games. He had 4 points on 1 for 3 shooting, all of 1 from 3, 2 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 2 turnovers in 28 minutes. 28 minutes. And before we get into the box score comparison, minutes and points, we always say, if you're going to be out there that long, you got to give us something impactful on at least one end of the floor. And I felt for the first time, maybe all year, I felt like maybe Stu played too much, and maybe we should have saw some more Paul Reed in this game. What were your thoughts on Isaiah Stewart in this game, boss?
Yeah, his worst game of the year.
Yeah,
it's just a bad game. I'm not saying anything about who he is as a player. I'm not saying that he's not going to. This is just a bad game from him. No stocks, only 3 shots up. He was being guarded well. I give credit. I agree. He was being guarded well in the paint because there were a couple times that Kay tried to get it to him. And it either was knocked away or when he did get it.
Or Kay would get it to him late. Yes. He'd be under the rim. Yeah. Go ahead.
Or when he did get it, he would, turn to make the shot and it wouldn't happen and they get the rebound. It was just an off game. And again, it was kind of it's weird because when he went on the streak of starting for us, that's when he was scoring the most. It's when he was doing the most. You're right.
So Stu got hurt in this game? I didn't realize he got hurt. Okay, I missed that.
He was limping. Greg Kelser thought that he was going over to get subbed out.
Okay.
And so, but he ended up playing the whole game. So maybe it was a tweak and he just feels okay. But that is true.
Okay.
But at the same time, like if because then Duran went out and he probably asked, if Stu's good to go. Stu's not going to back down from anything. But we could have had Paul Reed in there case, too.
Yeah, I'm with Organic 10. If he's hurt and JD is out, Paul Reed got to play the rest of the game, bro.
And worst case, Bobby Klintman was there, who is just a bigger body, if anything. Tolu was on the bench, but he wasn't dressed, so couldn't have been him. But it's just and again, just like in a game like this, I do question some of the decisions to play guys longer. When we, weren't there. If we had maybe regained the lead at some point, sure, bring him back in. But anyways, just not a great game from Stu. His effort is always there. I saw him moving. I saw him trying on defense. He did have a couple good defensive stops. He made I noticed him make his guy have to give the ball up. And unfortunately, his guy would give the ball up to someone who would make the shot. But he didn't let guys get easy shots over him. He was still putting out effort, but just could not get a rhythm going. Only 1 of 3 is we just don't see that often from him. This a 4 and 2 and then no stocks is just not him. So I said, just a bad game from Stu overall. But he's not, again, like we said, it's not just him. It was kind of a team thing. And we talked about this the last time they won too, is like when everyone's in sync and doing well and communicating well, everyone does better. And the minute that something's off, it's almost like everything's off. And today, that's why Ron and Asar stuck out, because they weren't thrown by it, but everyone else seemed to be thrown by it. Because we are a team. Even though we have an all-star, we are a team. Again, it reminds me of going to work years. Like, we are a team effort, and we rely on our team to get the job done. So,
agreed.
Yeah, the bummer from Stu. But I'm not. Tomorrow is, tomorrow's gonna be fun for him. He's not gonna back down. I hope that his knee is okay. It seemed to be okay as it goes on. I hope he rehabs it well tonight. But yeah, like you said, Paul Reed, especially, coming out, he only played 13 minutes, and that's someone that we could have played closer. We could have cut Stu down to like 21, 22, and Paul could have played closer to 20, and we would have been okay. So
with both of those guys hurt, there's no 13. Yeah, nah, he got to play more than 13 minutes, bro. Especially in the game against, like, this would have been a perfect game just to get him more time anyway. Because it is the Wizards. It's a team we should beat, right? And his energy is going to be there, so it's not going to be like you're lacking for anything. We're just a better team. I would have let him go anyway, regardless of who was playing or who wasn't. Just give him a chance. Give him an opportunity, right? Just give guys a chance. 13 minutes is not enough for especially in this situation when you need a spark already, but then your other two guys ahead of him in the depth chart are not healthy. So all right.
I'll just say real quick, like, every time we talk about Paul Reed, when he does get minutes, it's like he should have played more every time. So it's nice, but it's just like, man,
it's frustrating in a game like this.
Yes.
Yep. I agree. All right, guys, let's go ahead and go to JD real quick. We know he was hurt. Let's get to his box score and what we were able to see. Tonight he played 13 minutes for JD. That's it. Felt like it was more than that, but he did go out early. Okay, so 4 points on 2 for 6 shooting, 3 boards, 2 turnovers in, like I said, 13 minutes. So what did you see from the limited minutes from JD tonight?
I know it was limited minutes, but the rebounds.
Didn't like it?
The rebounds kicked me off again because I saw.
Knee, though.
But this was before. I know he has a sore knee, but like, okay. So that's detrimental.
Just shouldn't have been in there.
Exactly. So that's where it's at for me.
So for me, it's more so that as opposed to he wasn't trying. Because if he didn't come back into the game, maybe because sometimes it can be looked at a different way.
But
it's like if you play and don't play well, it can be perceived as you're not trying, as opposed to if you don't play at all, it's like, well, he didn't play at all.
But I'm thinking about the rebounds he had. I'm talking more about, I've talked about this before, grab them with 2 hands and hold the F on. For some reason, sometimes during it's just like, oh, I got it, I'm okay. For some reason, it doesn't compute to him that there could be someone right behind him to knock it out. And that happened a couple times. And that's not, like, of course, it's a knee thing to have pressure on your knee, to be under there, to do that. But it's like, hold on to the ball. So that was my only thing. But so I can't go too hard on him tonight because of his injury, because he wasn't feeling. And Omari, I did see someone sent to me that Omari did text out or tweet out that it's been a lingering thing over the past few games, the sore knee. But again, like, it's like,
so it's like sometimes when you're still trying to be impactful, but in other ways, because if you don't have any lift, if you have less lift when you go up with 2 hands, you have no chance of getting the rebound, as opposed to I can do this and try to go off one and try to. So we don't know what that looks like as far as.
And they were so
I understand what you're saying. But
they were so discombobulated in the first that he wasn't even getting lobs. Like, they were just so off that, like, in the minutes that he did play, they weren't even working to his benefit, because he had to, like, if you're getting lobs and Cade's, getting the ball to you and you're able to just get it off the glass and get it in, then that's a little different. But if you're having to get the ball and then create your own offense, then you're relying on the footwork and the knee work and everything. And then you're tired running up the floor. And then I saw in the beginning, he was complaining about not getting a foul call. We saw his arm goes up again. And you see JB on the sideline, like, go, like, let's go. So I don't have any notes for Duren. I'm bummed that he's out. But I can't confidently say, just based on what I saw. And again, it could be because of the injury, that if he was in still, that we would have won. Like, I don't think. Was a game changer or anything.
I don't think any one particular player would have made that difference. Because it was a team effort overall. We had more guys who did not play with energy for the whole game than those that did. So I don't think any one guy would have changed that. It was just more so everybody for the most part in this game. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Devin, let's go.
I know. I'm trying to look for another one, guys. You guys.
Family friendly show. Yeah,
Yes.
so that's all I got for JD though. He didn't, yeah, that's my biggest thing. I hope it's nothing serious. Like if it was something lingering, with the with the All-Star game coming up too, I don't want him to think he has to go dunk contest stuff. I don't want him to make anything worse, thinking he don't want to miss his opportunity. It's just like if he's hurt, and honestly, if it were me, if this was lingering, I wouldn't even have played him.
That's what I'm saying.
I would have just saved him. We got a back-to-back tomorrow. I would have saved him for New York. Let B-Ball Paul get 30 minutes.
Yeah. And
the opportunity.
Maybe it's because someone said Tolu's also hurt. I don't know if he got hurt in the G League. Mm-hmm. But again, like we have Clintman, like Tobias is out too, but like at worst case, I put Asar at the 5. He's, like especially against a team like this, like we can stop them. And honestly, their biggest thing was their 3-point shooting tonight. So like paint presence was necessary for rebounds, and it was necessary to, of course, stop some things. But like, I wouldn't have faulted them if they moved a couple guys to the center. We've seen teams, we've done it before. We've seen teams have to not, basically rely on their center for play. And it sucks because Duren, like the Caden Duren connection, the Caden Stu connection is such a big part of our game that, like, of course our center is kind of, we're a team that runs through our paint, that's where we get most of our offense. So that would suck. But at the same time, it's like, save them, bro. Like, especially against the Wizards. And again, we say that after they just beat us, but there's all these, circumstances too that we're learning about that, like, Stu, I saw Stu tweak his stuff in the first. Duren's been having lingering knee problems. Tobias is out. Jenkins is out. Like, it would be okay if they, I see some, it's not at the 5.
You're hilarious, bro.
No, it's not at the 5. Like, true, but it's like, who else would you pick? I guess Bobby. I would put Asar over Bobby, unless we're just like, Bobby, go show us that you got dog in you. Go do it.
Yeah, so, just somebody else.
Paul has a 40-minute game.
Yes. No, seriously.
And he would do that willingly and wantingly.
Probably give us 20 and 10.
So I just, maybe our risk to play some of these guys tonight. Overall, I guess I'm happy that they pulled JD when he did. If he was just like, my knee's just not feeling good.
Yep.
I'm glad that they did that. But yeah, a couple factors as usual going into the loss tonight. So
yeah. So we'll leave it there on JD. My main focus is not even this game, like how you played. It's what's the severity of this knee, because somebody said it earlier, but if you got to sit him out, even if it means missing tomorrow's game, you got to do that. You got to do that. Like, this is a big game. We get it. But if you got to sit him to the All-Star break, you got to do that too. This is not about the regular season. It's about trying to advance and win at least a round in the playoffs with this team.
And we won. We won games against the Knicks in the playoff last year with B-Ball because Stu was out. So if we need B-Ball tomorrow, I'm not mad about it. And if people want to,
that's a great point.
If people want to be like, oh, but like you guys beat us, I'm never gonna say like, oh, like they beat us without, or we beat them without Duren, or they lost but we didn't have Duren. Like, I don't like that kind of talk. I never have. I just I really do want to come out for the Knicks tomorrow, especially because I just watched them play the Nuggets the other night, and Cat's coming out here looking all tough with his eye as if he didn't whack his head into Spencer Jones himself. I was like, bro, you did that to yourself.
Yep.
Self-inflicted wound.
Yeah, he's not one of those ones, bro.
But anyways, it just bothers me that everyone's like, oh, look at Cat out there playing so brave. He
I'm not a Cat fan, bro. I can't. I'm not a Cat fan. I will never be convinced that he's tough. Ever.
No, exactly.
Ever. So
exactly.
whole nother conversation.
We'll
leave it there. Let's hit some bench guys, boss, and then we can go to the trade stuff that everybody seems to want to get to. I understand. We'll talk about it.
I'm ready to talk about stuff too. So
yeah, for sure. We're gonna get to all of it. So let's go to some bench guys. Let's go to Paul Reed, boss. Start with him. Tonight in this game, B-Ball Paul Wall had 7 points, 3 or 4 shooting, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 1 turnover in only 13 minutes, like you mentioned. So we talked about it already. So we're gonna try our best not to sound redundant, but what'd you see? And what would you have liked to see in this game from Paul Reed, boss?
This B-Ball Paul. All I have in his notes are rebounds, because that's just what he does. He's a rebound magnet.
I just got energy. That's all I got. So
yeah,
same
energy,
thing.
rebounds, because that's exactly what he does. He's a chase down rebound guy. He's holding on to it. He had some nice cuts for his basket. Like him and
Yep.
Cade have a connection, which is crazy. They don't play
I like it.
together a lot because when B-ball is usually in, it's not with Cade at point. So it looks good. He's just, I think his basketball IQ is actually a little bit underrated. We've talked about how his footwork under the basket is underrated. Again, to finish with 5 boards, like
I know in 13 minutes.
that's crazy. That's crazy. And again, like that just also shows the kind of night that Stu was having at 30 minutes with 2, 29 minutes. But like B-ball is just that guy. I wish we saw him more. And he's definitely made every time he goes out there, he just makes a case for himself getting more minutes. And yes, we have, I think, some of the best big duos in the league.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best big duo.
Y'all gonna say 3-man rotation, big man rotation, yeah.
I mean, even just like, can you think of another 2 other than Stu and Duren? You might argue Chet and Hartenstein, but Hartenstein hasn't been playing because he's been injured.
And neither of those, like those 2 and Stu and JD are an all-star and a DPOY candidate. I don't think anybody else can say that about their front line.
True. So that's why, B-ball doesn't get as many minutes because we just work it through them, Isaiah and Duren, but he is a dark horse on our team, and I love that we have him. Yeah. But it is games like these where I was like, yeah, he should have played closer to 18, 20 minutes. He should have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Michael, I agree. We'll see about Jarrett Allen being a DPOY candidate this year, but to be fair, I think when Jarrett Allen won the DPOY, I think Mobley was an all-star. So good call. So the Cavs and us, I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I agree on that too. But yeah, so I just loved, again, what I saw from him. He just always gives 100%. Everyone is excited about it. Even everybody in chats I was in, bring on B-ball after we heard Durham was gone. Greg Kelser, B-ball Paul. Like, everyone's a fan of him in this city, and it's because that he just goes out there and he plays that way whether we're up 20 or down 20. That's what I love about him. And hit our offensive. How many offensive rebounds did he have?
Probably
2.
5.
He had 2 offensive, 3 defensive, but like, that helped put us over the edge with offensive rebounds. So yeah, he's B-ball Paul. And I love him, and I can't, and we talked about being advocate for Stu and Duren starting lineup, is that we get to see B-ball Paul more.
Exactly.
And if we do have to rest Duren or Stu or both, which is scary tomorrow, I'm not mad about B-ball Paul being in there. I'm not like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Like, what he's gonna do is go out there and he's gonna make 3-pointers. He's going to get to the rim. He's going to get rebounds. He's gonna make it difficult for guys to get baskets on him. So
yeah, he's just gonna play winning basketball. He's gonna be a star in his role, which is what he always does. And we've seen him how he's played when he's gotten minutes, when Stu's been out, when JD's been out. 28-point game with 10 rebounds and near approaching his career high in the limited opportunity he gets. So yeah, he's always ready. Always ready. So I hope we get to see more of Paul Reed the second half of the season compared to how little we saw him in the first half. So we'll see. But good game from him. All right. Boss, let's keep it moving. Let's go to Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert in this game, guys.
He hot topic always.
Of course. It's always going to be a hot topic. You already know. He finished, guys, with 7 points on 3 for 7 shooting, 0 of 2 from 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and a block for 2 shots, and no turnovers, boss, in only 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not even mad about it. Look,
Take off.
We talked about him. So he's 7 points on 3 of 7 shooting, 0 for 2. So this is now 2 games in a row. He's 0 for 5 from 3. So his 3 ball is not hitting. That's where it's at right now.
Yep.
Otherwise, no complaints.
I don't either.
That's what I'm, everybody has to check their bias. Even I had to check my bias with Herder. We all have to do it. But he had a nice and one. He had a nice and one finish, a left-handed finish, to just help us, try to get back into it. He definitely wasn't backing down from that challenge. And the third, he had the knockaway on the Wizard transition. That was tough. That was not.
Yeah, it was.
The Wizards had a breakaway layup.
Without fouling.
It was like 3-on-1, and he was the only one back there, and he knocked it right out of the hand. He timed that perfectly.
Yep.
So he had a great find to B-ball for the dunk in the third as well. And in the fourth, he was just everywhere. He was B-ball Paul kind of energy. He was everywhere going for the ball. He gets to the basket, got it up. They didn't call a foul. Javonte Wu got the rebound. So what did he do? He got out of the paint to make sure that Javonte had something. How can I hate gingers? I like
I live it up there for a reason. Go ahead.
I am trying to think of a ginger I like, but
there's probably ain't too many out there.
But my cousin Kelly, I love you.
Y'all paying way too much attention to her taste, bro. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah, but yeah, what I like, so he went up for the layup. It got blocked. He should have got called for a foul. It didn't come off. Wu got the offensive rebound. So instead of staying and crowding that area, Javonte ran back out to let Wu have an outlet if Wu couldn't get back up. And Wu got it to him. And then that's when LeVert tried to go back in. He got the foul call eventually. I just think, the LeVert hate is another bias on this team with fans. I get it. He hasn't, been perfect for the 20 minutes he's played. But tonight, other than not sinking his threes, which, again, it's just something he's not hitting that you got to shoot to get them. And I appreciate that, he's not putting up 7 threes a game. He's putting up 2 or 3 trying to get his shot. And one of them was like in and out. It was so close.
Yep.
So he was more like 3 or 5 from the paint, and I'll take that. And I just really appreciated his defense tonight. I thought it was one of his better games, but again, just not good overall team effort wise. But he was definitely not the problem, as some people have put on.
No. So we always talk about control what you can control. Mm-hmm. I've never really had an issue with Caris LeVert's defense this year. The games he's played, he's missed a lot of games. When he has played, I've never had an issue with his defense. He gives you like Tim Hardaway-esque defense, but more steals and more open court plays. Mm-hmm. He just plays solid defense. And so the thing for me tonight, but he didn't make a ton of plays. He made some nice plays, but we saw him diving on the floor for loose balls.
Yes.
We saw him coming up with offensive rebounds, just giving his body up, coming up with steals and transition to stop transition plays, just doing dirty work stuff. Mm-hmm. But here's the biggest thing, and I mentioned it before, I'm going to say it again. There was no point guard on the court with him.
Mm-hmm, true.
He wasn't playing with Cade. And Danis Jenkins wasn't of it. That's why Danis Jenkins is so important. The same reason that Jaden Ivey, when he was here, needed Danis Jenkins or Cade on the court is the same reason Caris LeVert needs the same thing. They're not point guards, right? They need to play with other creators on the court. So when you don't have a point guard on the floor with Caris, the offense is going to look like it did. He's a combo guard. He wants to score first. So if there's somebody on the court with him to help set him up, it's not going to look as good. He was playing with Sass, who's also a scoring guard, right? Yeah. So we said it before. And to me, in my opinion, and not even, I think all would say, even though J.I. and Caris are similar players, J.I. is a better version of that kind of player. So he's more athletic. He's got a better shot, right? More twitchy. So, but we said the same thing for Jaden. It's like, we got to have either Cade or Danis on the court. The same applies to Caris LeVert. He has to have another guard on the court with him. So I think that's why it looks so bad today. Like he wasn't doing anything out of the note. Like he over 2 for 3. Okay, fine. He shot 45% from the field. Yeah. 3 for 7 overall. And he played good defensively. Yeah. So I think is what Kevin's solutions are saying. Like the expectations are the issue. Like, what do you expect him to be? A 20-point per game scorer, 15? Like, what is the expectation for him? Because the effort was there, and the reason the offense didn't look as good as it was is because, once again, there was no point guard on the court with him.
And here's what we've talked about before, like you just said, point guard. If someone came to you, if they said, again, guys, we just all have to check our biases. But if they came up to you and they said, hey, like we're down Jenkins, we're gonna use LeVert as the backup point guard. If they said that to you out loud during the game, you can't be mad at him. He didn't turn the ball over.
No turnovers.
He made good passes. If he was turning the ball over 3 or 4 times, you'd be like, oh my God, like why would they ever trust him with that? But this is now 2 games in a row where he's had 0 turnovers. So again, he was used out there for ball handling. He's not just like with Ivy and with other guys, like he's not a ball. It's like he's not a point guard, but he can handle the ball. So and so it is just, and I think that he did well tonight. I'm going to give him his props. And again, I know everyone's still waiting for a LeVert game. I think, that's part of the expectation to it. The game has not been taken over by Caris LeVert. You have to be like, he's hot tonight, all this stuff. I get it. He has been, it's been inconsistent with with time off. Then he had the vertigo, all these things.
Right.
I also, during my research, I'm not going to try to gain sympathy points from you guys, but during my research of Karis LeVert, I discovered that he had cancer in 2021.
Right.
And it's something he had to have removed and get over as well. And when he was out for this illness, it made me be like, okay, like maybe, it's not a trade. Maybe it has to do with cancer. And that sucks. That's a hard thing
vertigo,
too.
like it was, yeah.
Yes, and it was vertigo. And vertigo, if you've never had it, guys, is the worst. The worst.
Yeah. I don't have it, but I know people who deal with it, and it's a lot.
And Karis and JB recently talked about how, they brought Karis here for his playoff expertise and that they think that he will do better in the long run. So I think today was a great show out. I won't say great, but a good one. I think that there's nothing to complain about other than him being, and I noticed this with myself too. When he takes a shot and misses it, I'm like, oh my God. But the first thing I think was like, oh my God, the chat's going to go off because he missed a shot, which is crazy because Cade missed his first 4 shots. So, and so I just say, just like what we're doing with Herter, he's on our team. He's on our team. And I'm not saying that he's going to be here forever. I'm not saying he's not going to be moved in the offseason, but he's on our team right now. So I think he deserves the props when he earns them. And tonight he earns more props than not.
Yeah. And the thing is, guys, we root for our guys, but we're still honest about our guys.
Yeah.
We're still honest about it. Like Organic is saying, what LeVert brings to the table is not worth guaranteed playing time. Y'all got to keep it a stack. So listen, maybe it's not. I'm just saying in this game, he wasn't bad. In this game, he wasn't trash. In this game, he actually was pretty clean. It may not have been to the level as far as points and output as you may have liked to see, but you got to look in circumstance of who he's playing with, right? He wasn't put in a great position offensively to be great tonight. And then defensively, he gave you everything you could ask for. So in this game is all I'm talking about. Like, whether you think Sash should get more minutes, okay, cool. I feel it, right? Or whoever else. If you want to give Chaz a shot, cool. I'm with that. But as far as game to game, compartmentalizing just this game, Karis LeVert was not bad in this game. He wasn't.
Yeah. And guys, again, with that, it was this game too, where again, we don't have Jenkins, we don't have Tobias. Ivy's gone. Who would you have put in? Who would you have confidently put in for him for his minutes tonight? I think tonight was the only. I know people complain about his 20 minutes or plus. Even we have, again, in minutes in games where he's not producing. It's game by game. The games where he's not producing, you were just like, why was he in for 20 minutes and not someone else? But who else would you put in? Because you could say Chaz, but you're going to trust Chaz Lanier, the rookie who's played four or less games, to ball handle?
You know what? I would have given it a shot.
I would have liked Chaz in.
I ain't going to lie, man.
LeVert was in there for ball handling when Cade was off.
He was. I would like maybe a little more sass, maybe. In this game, it's so you got options. I'm not saying you don't do. I'm just saying it wasn't like LeVert was just begging to get pulled because he was playing terrible. That's all I'm saying about this game. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. So again, just check. It is game by game, and that's how we approach it. Because you'll hear us. We've both gone up and down on LeVert. We've both gone up and down on a lot of people. I changed my tone from Herter from the last couple of games.
We can disagree. You know what I'm saying? Me and Boss disagree all the time. Chat, y'all obviously disagreeing right now. That's part of it.
In a game but again, it's game by game, and you guys want us to talk about the game. You guys ask just talk about the game, analyze the game. Okay, this was not a bad game for Karis LeVert.
Right.
So, that's where I'm at. But
so we'll see where we are next game.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. Boss, let's move it along and go now to we want to go to next. Let's go to Sad. We talked about Sad. Let's go to Sad.
I think we should go to Herter.
We go to Herter? Hey,
let's get him out of the way because he played. Let's just talk about it because it's here.
Let's do it. So. Let's do it. All right, guys. So tonight, Kevin Herter debuted his career in the Pistons uniform. His first game in the Pistons uniform tonight. And he only played 6 minutes. He did not score. He did not shoot it well. 0 for 2 from overall, and both of those shots are from 3. Both look good, just neither fell. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, and once again, Boss 6 minutes, so not a lot of time. I wasn't expecting him to play a lot in this game. I wasn't expecting him to play at all, honestly. I was surprised he actually got in this game because he just got here, I think, yesterday in practice. He was yesterday, so I didn't know, the test came back and all this stuff, all the physical stuff. It's like it can kind of get drawn out sometimes, so it was pretty quick for him. So I did not expect to see him in this game, but we did. So what did you see from him in this game, Boss?
Yeah, well, I agree with Mike here. I thought he did a great job staying in front of his guy on defense.
I agree.
I really liked it. I don't think he had an issue. He did good fighting over screens. He did good moving with his guy. I appreciated that. 0 of 2, yeah. But I was not. I'm sorry. If he came in and drained 2 threes in a row, I would have been like, Trajan's a genius. Mad. Duncan Robinson didn't even get hot for us for a while, guys.
Yeah.
This is his first game. He played 6 minutes. He took the shots he took, and they weren't bad. Duncan had an air ball tonight. Both of hers.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's true because it's both organic. Because, again, I had to change my mindset because I'm the type of person that when they're on my team, you're on my team.
She was not a fan of her before this, guys.
No, I wasn't. And I'm still kind of just like, ugh, but I slept on it. They always say, don't make big decisions in life until you sleep on it. And it wasn't my big decision to make, but I slept on it and I was like, it is what it is. We can literally do nothing, giving participation. I'm going to comment. Let me finish. Okay. But, if he was 0 for 5, would have been like, come on. And again, this doesn't bode well because I'm someone who has pointed out that he's been on a decline of shooting. I don't. So 0 of 2 is not enough of a sample size for me to be like he's still on that decline. No,
come on, man. It's first game, bro. We're not doing that.
I'm still in that like watchful thing because he was on the decline with Sacramento and then didn't pick that up again in Chicago. And people might say it was spacing, it was the balls he was getting, but he was working with Giddey. He might work better in their scheme. We have to see. So, but for tonight, yeah, the 2 shots not going in, bummer. But he did have a steal on Gill in the second, which is just nice to see because again, Duncan didn't register a steal for us for a while. Now Duncan's getting them on a regular.
Yep.
But Duncan, was just kind of a cone on defense for us for a little bit. Now he's getting targeted, but he's ready for it. And
right.
So, and then I appreciated the defense from him, and I really appreciated the off-ball movement. When he didn't have the basketball, he was moving. He wasn't just standing in the corner. Again, this was also something with Duncan that I was just kind of like, that he's definitely improved on. But in the first few games, he just kind of found a spot and sat. Yeah, but Herder moved. So, in 6 minutes, I'm gonna give him and I'm training myself. I'm training my own brain to like red velvet.
What is that, velvet?
So I'm training my own brain and just to point out his negatives were that he didn't make a shot, but his positives were that he had a steal on Gill, he had great off-ball movement, he stayed in front of his man on defense, and he did not turn the ball over.
He played 6 minutes, bro.
Good job, Kevin. In 6 minutes.
He played 6 minutes, bro. I'm not tripping. Listen, we can have a whole other conversation about the actual trade itself.
And we'll talk about that later.
We're going to get to that for sure.
I'm not going to compare him to Ivy because those are 2 completely different players.
Yeah. But, I thought he was okay. I mean, it's 6 minutes, bro. Like, we talked about guys all year who've been with this team. It's like when Dennis plays 8 minutes. When B-Ball Paul plays 5 minutes. It's like incomplete.
Yeah.
So if we're doing that with guys who've been here, we can't be critical of guys who get that many minutes and haven't been here. Like, come on, I'm not doing that, bro. I'm just not doing it. It's 6 minutes. So the fact that he's over 2, who cares? Like, aside from the previous shooting percentage, we're gonna get to that too. I'm just talking about this game. It's one game and it's 6 minutes, bro. We're not about to pass judgment like that over 6 minutes. I'm just not doing it. I'm looking at the things. I'm looking at the effort stuff. I'm looking at the defense. I'm looking at the rotations. I'm looking at him switching when they're trying to run certain actions to get guys open, and he's rotating and switching off and cutting off the backdoor pass. I'm looking at that stuff, right? Yeah. Got to steal as soon as he came into the game. That's good, right? Some good defensive plays. He didn't shoot it well. That is true. But it was funny because they showed he and Duncan were in the game for like 30 seconds. And I was like, wait, Duncan and Herder in the game together? I don't know how this is going to look defensively. And 30 seconds later, next time out, he took Duncan out of the game.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny.
They shouldn't be on the floor together, honestly.
I don't know.
My thing. So. But I think, this was the perfect game to kind of test the waters. And I honestly, I know you said you weren't sure if he was going to play. I saw him in. I thought that he would come in for a few more minutes, especially just the way the game was going. Because he wasn't detrimental. Like he didn't. Again, he had a steal. He stayed in front of his man. He didn't cause a turnover. He just couldn't make the open shots that he had. And they were open because the Wizards were well aware that he's brand new. This is a common thing with guys that are new to a team. And we'll get to it later. And Ivy did have a good show out with the Bulls tonight.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I'm
yeah. We're
very
gonna talk
proud
about
of
that.
him. But there are some, we will talk about it later. There are some guys that can just jump right in, but he also played 30 minutes. So like,
Right.
he was a starter relied on. And so this was a guy who just got kind of a taste in the rotation. And I'm excited, I'm excited to see more. We should, no matter how we feel, unless it's Saric, but no matter how we feel, we should all root for him because he's on the team now and he's here. He's here. And I personally think that with Jenkins, when we sign Jenkins, I think Herter will be kind of a bench rider. He'll come in when we need some more shooting. He'll come in. So, and I'll let you get to your thought, but that's where I stand with it because, guys, his contract is expiring. It's kind of a future move to Ivy wasn't happy. Didn't see, wasn't working with Ivy. Anyone that's an Ivy fan, a fan of a basketball player, wants him to do well. And so that's what they kind of did for him. At least, we kind of traded him and got someone, didn't have to waive him like Cam Thomas over on the Nets got waived because nobody wanted him. But it's I'm of course rooting for the best and imagine that he gets to the level that he was at, that he's feeling confident and that he comes off the bench after Duncan minutes. That's going to be a little bit insane. And I do want to say, I will give him this because I looked into it. Everybody that he's ever played for has said that he is just an amazing locker room presence. And as someone who was worried about acquiring certain people in this league that might break the chemistry, I am glad that was in consideration. To me, that shows that our chemistry was in consideration when it came to the trade as well.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jason.
I just wanted to ask you guys. I'm putting up a poll right now. Who would you guys like to see play more as far as the backup shooting guard minutes? Should it be Karis LeVert or should it be Kevin Herter? Right? Because that was my question too. Is when Dennis Jenkins gets signed and when he's playing the backup spot with the backup minutes, who would you guys like to see him playing alongside? Karis LeVert or Kevin Herter? Because they bring different things. It's hard for me because I kind of see.
Do you want to add Chaz to the poll? Because people are saying Chaz.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah. So I'm gonna need you to keep the conversation going in while I do that. So let me know who you would think.
Who I would
like
think
to see. And then we can go for real quick. God. Between those two, we have Kevin Herter 67%.
You want to put a target on my head
at 33.
You want to put a target on my head?
Huh?
I can't. You want to put a target on my head because so
Herter, yeah, we're gonna put you on the hot seat.
That's my people, LeVert.
Put you on the hot seat. Come on,
LeVert.
Oh, you're about to update it anyway, but go ahead. Yeah.
Backup shooting guard. Oh man, I mean,
that's a good question.
I need more than 6 minutes from a Herter because, guys, anyone that just tuned in last podcast saw how much shade I was throwing at him because I'm not. Pre downfall, Herter. Herter's first 5 years of his career, beautiful. 5.5, 6 even. He's in year 8. So yeah, year 7. Was he traded? I think, yeah. So I think he was with the Bulls. Was he new to the Bulls this year? No, he had a year and a half with the Bulls, I think, before he came here. But it kind of fell off. And people said, it was just like his rhythm, stuff like that. And I'm not going to count anyone out. I mean, I'm over here not even counting out John Moran. I think he just needs to go somewhere and grow up. Put him in, I mean, OKC is really good, but put him in a field. Put him in a cornfield state. Don't put him in Miami. Or New York City, put him in the cornfield state or something. Let him grow up. So my optimism is just a little bit off the charts. And what I really love about LeVert is his defense, and I can't rely on his offense. But Herter, it's kind of the opposite. Where if Herter gets going, I rely on his offense. And he showed today that he can at least stay in front of a defender. He's not a cone. I don't again in 6 minutes. I can't say, but also I feel like we should get more Chaz. Chaz, when he's had minutes, he's either had no shots or he's hit all of his shots. Like he's up and down. So who else did you put? People are saying do some.
By the way, Organic, I ain't gonna comment on that job thing. I'll be here all night, bro. Y'all know how I feel, man. I'm old school, man. Yeah, I'm not doing it. You are probably. I wasn't even trying to make no face, bro. I was not trying to make no face. I'm just trying to be nice. But bro, we just updated the poll, boss, and we
Okay.
added some guys. So now here's a new poll, guys. Who should play more at backup shooting guard between Chaz Lanier, Marcus Sasser, Karis LeVert, and Kevin Herter? Backup shooting guard. So
Okay.
who would you guess? Who would you guess got the highest percentage so far?
Sass. The people love
Okay.
Sass. I love Sass.
I thought that too.
Okay.
Chaz Lanier is at 36%.
Ooh.
That's
The
the
people
highest.
love Chaz.
Marcus
Oh, y'all-
Sasser is second at 29%, then Herter at 23, and LeVert at 14. Wow.
I can
Y'all
see
are
no.
down
I
on
know
LeVert.
why. I know why LeVert's down there. I've seen maybe one person say he had a good game, but no one's like, yeah, Sarah LeVert is good at times. Give him a chance. No, you LeVert haters. But I'm curious about those of you that voted Chaz. Did you watch college ball? Because that's something. It's not a world that I'm in. But my sister goes to Tennessee, so I followed Chaz in one of his last years because she went to Tennessee.
All right.
And his 3-point shooting was on point, and his release is so fun. So I'm just curious if you guys pick Chaz because you watched him in college, or if you pick Chaz because you think he has the potential and you want to see more.
Yeah.
That's more my curiosity, because I'm also a Sass fan. I'm also a Sass fan. Like Sass, if you give me that, I pick Sass.
And honestly, like it's hard. The fact that the winner had 35% across 4 options says a lot about there is no overwhelming favorite. I want to say Chaz. I feel like he reminds me of Bees.
I just feel like the ball people.
He's just a bigger version that plays better defense. Like he moves well without the basketball. He's got great size. He's got a quick release. He knows how to play the game. Like he already knows how to play the game. He's got a very defined role. Mm-hmm. He's a great mover that can shoot the basketball and play good defense and give you a surprise here on offense, catch you off guard. Like I like those kind of guys. Like Chaz is more complete. Yeah, right. I feel like he's just the most complete. Yeah. Like for me, I just want to see the same thing every game. I feel like I know what I'm going to get every game if he plays. Sass is a bucket. It may look a bunch of different ways with him. So I understand that. I think Sass is more fun to watch. The way he just dances and gets to his offense, and it just looks highlight reel-esque. But Lanier is like consistent. It's kind of like Klay Thompson in a sense, where it's like it doesn't look beautiful, but you know he's going to be reliable. He's going to come off screens and knock down shots. And he's not gonna hurt you offense. He's not gonna turn the ball over. He's a smart guy, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I like though. That's what I want if it's me. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think and we saw Sass today too, and we'll get to him, and maybe we'll go to him next in the box score. But he disrupted some plays. Like I told you, we've talked about it because obviously his size is an issue when it comes to defense. It's an issue. And even, today he tried to make a layup and it got blocked. Like that's also a little bit of an issue, but it hasn't been, I don't know. They were just blocking shots like crazy out there on us, but
yeah, they were.
But for me, I've always been like, did you know that TJ McConnell is ranked number 1 in disruptive defense in the NBA?
I did not know that. And he's what, like 6'1", 6'2"?
Because he's a pest. And that's go back a few. I've compared Sass to TJ McConnell in the sense that he is a pest, and that's what he does say. He disrupts. So I think that he would be. I would love to see him more, especially in the shooting guard role, because he gets hot. Like there's very few games where he's 1 of 9. Like he gets hot. He might start 0 of 3, but then he hits his next 3 in a row.
Yeah,
that's how it goes with Sass. So he would be my pick. So we'll come back to this poll. Do you want?
Yeah, because this one might actually shift a little bit because it's already close.
Because we went to Herter. Do you want to go to Sass next?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to Sass. So, guys, we spent a lot of time on that one. But I'm looking forward to see what that poll looks like, low key, for sure. It's struggling right now for anybody.
You guys know me. I have something nice to say about all of them, but I have my favorites. So
of course, and you got your non-favorites too. Let's go to Marcus Sasser, boss. So tonight, guys, in this game, Marcus Sasser finished with 8 points on 3 for 5 shooting overall, 2 or 3 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover, and 2 steals in 12 minutes. So what did you see from the assassin tonight, boss?
Yeah, I have 3 assists and 1 steal. What is with these? I'm gonna have to go
Bro.
to ESPN now. You know
Yeah,
what we
come
need
on
to do is
over
we need to check the next days to see who's more
to
accurate.
see. Yeah, because everybody updated. That's true too. Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll see.
Okay, bet.
Actually,
Bet,
I'm
bet.
gonna screenshot this right now so
Yeah.
I can have
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay.
Sassafras. All right. He had a run out in the first. He had a run out, rebound, and basket. Again, when
Mm-hmm.
you're a smaller guy, and I didn't know if he was gonna make it because they were hustling back, and those are taller guys, but he made it work. He had good defense that led to a steal. And then third, he disrupted he hit a big three. He was disruptive on defense. And the fourth, another big three.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah, he again 3 assists. Like he is, and it's funny because we kind of use him at the point guard, especially when we're down guys. He was that way too with when Cade was out and Ivy was out in previous seasons. But he definitely is more shooting guard, but he can play make and he takes care of the ball well. He has 1 turnover. I mean,
he's a ball in a string, man.
Yeah, he's someone that, he's actually to me, he has the best handles on the team. He's someone that the minute that I talk to someone about Sass in the basketball world, if they don't know him, the handles are the first thing that comes to mind. The handles of 3-point shooting. And then the defense, because he generally records steals like he did tonight as well. So truly no complaints for Sass, except that he only got 14 minutes. Again, we talked about it a little earlier. And even, you brought it up, a good point, like who would you put in for LeVert's minutes? But LeVert only got 2 more minutes than Sass. So it's like they were playing on the court a lot together as well. So
and it was just tough with those 2 guys out there together for both of them.
Right. And that's like with Cade, like, again, like when you have a guy like Sass, and this was also a guy that was pumped up in the preseason when they were talking about him, that he is putting on a bigger role. I also think that's kind of why we kept him. He was someone that I was kind of like, if we make a move this offseason before the trade deadline, I think he would be in it because, he was kind of just been riding the bench and he's such a talent. He's such a talent and just like a really good guy, like really cool guy. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it's just really nice to see him get minutes, and I just would have liked him to see it a little bit more. I think he would have had double-digit scoring. I think we would have had more assists. I think we would have had probably another steal as well. That's just kind of his game. So love that I saw Sass tonight, and going forward, he's a great, just like we talked about Paul Reed being a great backup for guys like Reed or like Stewart and Duran. Sass is a great backup for when Jenkins and Cunningham aren't available. But also he does, I think, deserve minutes with Cade or Jenkins as the shooting guard. And it's minutes.
That's where he should play most.
And that's that's what this poll was all about. It's minutes that now that Ivy is gone, who gets them? And I think that he would play very, very well off of that because he's someone that he could get hit off ball movement and his shots, but he can also bring it up to keep Cade off ball when he's in with him.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with
Zion says, Deuce and Boss, if you were in JB's shoes and only had minutes for one of Sasser or Danis, who would you choose? Danis, because of the need.
Sadly.
Not compared to anybody else, not even having anything to do with this poll, just as far as the need. We got 4 shooting guards. We got 2 point guards.
That's like, it should be, those guys should be playing off of each other. It should be like, you meant, it should be, Caden and then Danison and then Sass with one of those 2. He should be
one of those, right?
We've seen him a lot at the point guard, guys, again, because of injuries or because of things. Like we've seen him play point guard. And like I just said, he can bring the ball up. He's another ball handler that we can rely on to be out there when we need guys off ball. He's also, though, someone, especially, the more minutes, the more repetition he gets, that when Cade gets doubled, it will help Cade get doubled less if he's out there because he can't
draw more attention off him. Yeah.
Or he can, at least if he gets the ball, he can make the play. Like he's just not going to be stagnant there. So
Yep. I agree. Let's check back on this poll, boss.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave this one up probably for the rest of the night because this is gonna be like changing back and forth. All right. So it was Chaz at 36%. Now it is Sass at 39%. So now it's 40%. Okay. So Marcus Sasser is at 40%. Chaz is at 30%, Herter's at 19%, and LeVert is at 11%. Okay. So we'll see how that looks as we go to each segment. I'm going to change it up. Let's see. Roy says Sasser can straight up hoop. We are leaving buckets on the bench. I get it. Yeah, so that's something JB's got to figure out, right? Because we do have kind of a logjam at that shooting guard position still.
it's kind of the blessing and a curse with getting rid of Ivy, is because next up people are like, well, now it's Sass. And again, like we have Herder now, but he needs minutes to produce. So don't be shocked if Herder gets the minutes first, because he needs minutes to produce.
Right.
But to have that there as well is just, he is someone that I'm just like, and we'll talk about trade stuff later. That's like, I would have rather, if we had gone for more of a power forward,
right,
I would be okay with it. I maybe liked it more, a guy that could shoot and play that bigger position, because we do have someone like Sass and Chaz that we can get more minutes, that we know that can be deadly, lethal scorers. So
it's tough, man. It's something they got to figure out. They got to figure that out for sure. But we'll leave it there on Sass. I thought he played pretty good in this game in the minutes he had. Boss, let's go to Lil Ron Holland in this game. Man, was he big in this game for sure. All right, guys. Tonight, Ron Holland finished with 11 points on 4 for 9 shooting overall, 0 of 2 from 3, 3-4 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds. Like Boss mentioned, got his first double-double of his career, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block for 2 stocks in 25 minutes. So he got some extended bump tonight, Boss. What did you see from Dog Pond Jr. tonight?
Oh, man. Good job, Ron, on your first career double-double. And you know what, guys? 3 weeks ago, we might not have seen it, because they've been pushing him to rebound more. They've shown him that he can. And also, I want to say the split with the rebounds was 4 offensive, 6 defensive. I love that split. So I mean, it just shows that he was at the rim, aware at all time. I agree. Ron had a fantastic night tonight.
Absolutely.
Some plays in the second, he had a great putback on a Cade miss, which cut it down to 12. That's kind of when we were on our run.
Yep.
He had the jam after the steal. Great defense. Amazing defense on some of these guys. He was just super aggressive to the basket in the third. Again, knock away in the third, another more great defense. Like, he just was doing it on all ends. Again, to get the 2 stocks is huge. Him and Asar and Stu on the floor together. I know it was
Javante too.
But
all them dogs on the court together, man, wreaking havoc. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just noticed that when I was paying attention, I don't know if we was on there, but at first I was like, Asar and Ron on the floor is just so fun. And people have asked before, like, should Ron start for Tobias? It's not something I would be mad at. It's
just tough off. Okay, so real quick, because you're right. I actually agree with you, because it's more so about, can you get enough defense to offset the half court offense that Tobias gives you? So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, so say that Duran is rehabbing this knee.
Okay.
And Tobias is out.
Okay.
I want Stu at the center and Ron at Tobias.
Well, that's what we saw second half. That's what we saw. Yeah, second half we saw that. So I mean, you kind of have to, unless you're going to go B-ball Paul at the 4, but then who's your backup big? You don't have one.
Right. Yeah. So that's just kind of like, we got a taste of that, like you said, in the second. And that's just kind of what, it wouldn't, because we're too big. We like to push the too big. You've been advocate for too big starting lineup, me at times as well. But like, if for some reason the too big wasn't an option, again, for like an injury or for rest or for foul trouble or whatever it was, then Ron would be who I would pick, because it's mostly because of him and Asar. It is because of the defense that he brings, but him and Asar's defense together, no breaks. And we've talked about it, because we want Ron to come when Asar goes out and Ron comes on. It's not a break for whoever is being guarded by those people. But they've been able, like tonight, they kind of staggered their minutes. Like there are times when they were both on at the same time, and there are times where Asar was just on, and there are times where Ron was just on. And that's how it's been with Stu and Duran as well. They've had 2 big lineups at moments, and then they just staggered. And so the staggering, I just really like, but they just looked fantastic together. And it's something that's been pushed, again, like you said, the nickname 9 to 5, it's been pushed this whole season. We got to see a lot of it tonight, and we got to see why it works and what people were excited about, like these guys and yes, it's not amazing offensively, but so it kind of comes down to if we're making our shots as well. But our defense is what started that run as well. Like Asar was 62.5% shooting, and Ron was 44.4. Like, they were able to get to the rim. Like, they're both good shooters at the rim. Like, they both can provide at the rim, especially Ron. But like, and Asar has been getting more confident in his jump shot. We saw him seeing some against the Nuggets today. He tried one, it got blocked, no big deal. The fact that he was there and willing and confident to shoot that, huge sign. But I think the defense does drastically make up for it. And I just hope that we see more of this. I think that this duo, like tomorrow, would be deadly. Like I hope that what they pick up today is that Asar and Ron at the court at the same time in big moments is the way. That's the road to go.
At this point, now that Jaden is no longer here, I think the future for Ron may be at the 2. I think the future for him may be at the 2. Once he develops his offense more, if he can improve his jump shot, right? He's going to play the 2 through 4, here and there. But I think I could see a lineup with Cade, Ron, Asar, and if everybody's still here, Stu and JD. To me, that is a great defensive lineup. But it's going to have to happen once he develops more once he develops more offensively, because he could guard smaller guards and he can guard bigger players. He's very versatile, the same way Asar is versatile. So when you got that versatility across the board, that's tough. So it's like, as of right now, our defense is our hallmark. So I'm not mad at those who would say start Ron at this point, because you want to get out and run.
It's not over Asar, guys. Sorry, there's a lot of confusion. It's not over Asar.
No. This is Ron at the 2 is what I'm saying. Eventually is what I see.
But I also just want to clarify when I was saying, because I've seen just some chats from when I was talking to you, like if the Stu and Duran started tonight, and if Tobias is out and Duran is out, and Stu moves to center, then I want Ron at the 4. So Asar and Ron and Stu. So no, not Ron over Asar. Ron with Asar.
Yeah, I think that's the answer for now. Now that those guys are hurt, but I do see him at the 2. I could see him at the 2 long term, in the future. Once he develops a consistent jump shot, and once he adds a little bit more to his bag offensively, we know he likes to get downhill, and that's where he's best. But I think if he's able to make some strides offensively, that would be a great unit, really good unit.
It's a goal of his too. And we've seen the coaches challenge him to, like he said, I want to try to make more threes, and none of his went tonight, but he's trying, he's not being reckless with it. He's trying to get the shot when he's open, and he makes some of them, and they're good. And then, the coaches challenge him, hey, like Ron, you can get these more rebounds. And now he has his first double-double of his career because he was like, oh yeah, I can do that. So if you challenge him to make these, and he does say that he wants to work on his jump shot, and again, he's young. We're not saying that he's going to be a 2 next year.
Yeah.
In 3-4 years, why not?
Exactly.
Not?
Exactly. So, yeah. That's what I see. I think that would be a lot of fun, because you see how because you can do it in spurts with them. You can't start them together now, but you can when the energy is lacking, like it was tonight. The same way, like when we have games where we just can't get anything going offensively, and it's like, man, throw Sass in there, he'll get us some buckets. Like I think when the energy is low, it's like, man, throw Ron in there with Asar, they'll get something going. Throw Javante in there. Let them guys go. Let all of them be interchangeable. Don't pay attention to the spot that they're playing at. Just let them go. And I think eventually those 2 guys together is going to be fun to watch. Hopefully, and especially if Ron and Asar can continue to grow their games offensively, become great 2-way players. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see, man. Okay. All right, guys, let's move it along, and let's go to Javante Savage Wu. Can you woo Green tonight, guys? Tonight, Savage Wu finished with, let's see, he's finished with 8 points on 3 for 6 shooting overall, 1 of 4 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 boards, 3 turnovers, which is rare for him, 3 steals to back it up, and 18 minutes. So, okay, I'm not mad at that. What'd you see from Savage Wu tonight, boss?
Yeah, 1 of 4 from 3 was the kind of the biggest glaring thing. It just wasn't shooting. Usually he's more like 2 of 4. But he had the big 3. His timely 3 was in the 4th to cut it down to 8. But unfortunately, we just couldn't maintain that. But I think after that, we did get the steal, and then we got it down to 6 at one point. But in the 3rd, he had that steal to jam. Just disruptive, like you said. The turnover is super unlike him. I will say, no personal fouls.
No fouls.
A guy who comes in for defense doesn't foul. I love it.
And he does that. He does that pretty consistently too. Like 1 foul, maybe 2 at most.
Yeah, he had that big offensive rebound. Like I said, I think that was the one that LeVert didn't make, but they didn't call the foul. They should have. call the foul there, but and just the right decisions.
Go ahead. Y'all crazy, bro.
I mean, I would say though, like in 18 minutes, like this stat line, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals. That's incredible. But like the 8 points, 3 rebounds, that's the stat line that we usually see from him closer to 13, 14 minutes. But again, it just because if he hit one more of those threes, it would have made sense. But
and one of them like was a broken play because there was no point guard in the game, and he had to just kind of step back, which is not his game.
And he had one in a buzzer beater, like 24 second. I don't know if that's the same one, but like
same one. Yep.
Oh, one of his turnovers was when Ron threw it to him after he just got off the court and he was still out of bounds.
Ron, and that was I'm like, Ron, like shoot that, bro. Like, I'm not mad at him because it's like swing. That's all Ron was trying to do. He was just trying to be unselfish and swing the ball. But in that situation, he had to wait for him to get over there. It wasn't like the play. Remember the play with Duncan Robinson where he saved the ball, Cade retrieved it, and and you saw Duncan streaking. But it wasn't like Cade had to wait forever for him to get there.
Right.
In this situation, he had to wait for Javonte to get there. And by the time he would have waited enough time, the defense would already have reset, which is why Ron passed it early. So in that situation, I'm like, just shoot the ball, Ron. You're right there. But I'm not mad at the selflessness that he had. I get what he's trying to do.
I think that's just sort of thing of like he wasn't feeling it, and he's trying again. If he's gonna shoot more and wants to shoot more threes, he needs to show the coaches that he's not going to be reckless with it. So he just wasn't, and in a crucial time, he wasn't just going to be like, I'm just going to throw this up. What should have happened is that he didn't pick up his dribble. Is what should have happened.
Right.
So that he could have decided to keep going into the paint or creating more time.
And that's that progression for Ron. That's got to happen.
It's just a young guy thing, I mean, I've seen Cade pick up his dribble too early sometimes too. So it's just sometimes it happens because you think that you're just not fully aware of your surroundings. But anyways, no complaints from Wu. He definitely, again, wasn't a detriment. The 3 turnovers is kind of misleading almost because I only remember that one. So, and I guess there was one kind of bad pass, but that was just earlier on when they all weren't in sync. But otherwise, he comes in clutch always. Like you said, he finishes games. That's when he hit his 3 when it was most needed. So, he just, no.
He came on second half. I thought the second half he really came on because he was part of that brigade that really helped to get us out in transition the few times we were able to in that little spurt. So, like we always say, he usually plays the same way. It's a matter of did his shots fall or didn't they fall? That
where are you, Chris?
The difference in how many people thought he played.
Yeah.
Right. Where you at, Chris?
I need the Mr. something. To me, he was just
Mr. I got you in the second half, coach.
Yeah. Mr. I'm doing my best.
Mr. Tonight. I can't shoot it well tonight.
Yeah.
Mr. I need a point guard tonight, coach.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there, guys, on Savage Wu, Javonte Green, and we'll go to our last guy, boss, which was Wendell Moore. Got some hump tonight. We're surprised to see him in this game. Haven't seen him in quite some time. Yeah. So tonight he had 4 points, made his only shot. I think he had a run out layup transition, 2 from the free throw line, 1 board in 6 minutes.
Yeah. So no turnovers, no fouls. Wendell. So here's the guy, guys, that I've loved. When we got him back, I was
always talking about Wendell Moore.
And always I don't know why. I just have I don't know. I kind of want to say I have that Coach Hart gene where I just know good ball players. No, but he's just a good guy. He's a sweetheart. I actually, got to say hi to him in Denver 2 years ago. And stuff, and he follows him on Instagram. He's just a good guy, and so I just wanted nothing but the best for him. I was happy to get him back. He popped off recently in a G League game, right? Didn't he
40 ball?
Yeah, crazy. So I can see why they play him. We also, when I think of, we also do have to waive someone for Jenkins. So I kind of hope this wasn't like his last meal. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's
he's been here too long. He's been affiliated, I think, with this team.
And Trajan brought him back for a reason.
Yeah,
so I don't see why it would be, but I also was a little bit like, is this his when you give your dog chocolate on their last day of life kind of thing? I'm like, oh yeah. But
that's funny though. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I was just really happy.
Like I saw. Yeah.
He showed out, and the defense was good. He played the floor well. Again, it's just so beneficial, guys. because it's not every NBA team practices in the same facility as their G League team or gets to practice with them. And that's why our G League players, I think, do fit in so well with our lineup when they're called upon.
Yep.
So I was just really happy to see him in. And really, I can't speak too much on it. It was only 6 minutes and he did no mistakes. Good job, Wendell.
Yeah,
good job, Wendell.
Especially after not having played in so long.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I know it was the Wizards, but still, he did what you would expect him to do, which is all you can ask for. So
yeah, but I was kind of surprised that it was him over Chaz. Like I was
too.
Chaz tonight, but
yeah, I want to see more Chaz, but I'm sorry. I know he's a rookie. I don't know, man. Something tells me he's going to be a stud in this league. I don't know. He just seems ready. He just seems ready already. So we'll see. We'll get to it. We'll talk about it later when it happens. But our last topic of the night, guys. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this. Trade deadline has officially come and go as of about 8 hours and 42 minutes ago. 3:00 today, guys, was the end of possible trades being made. The deadline came and went. And I know a lot of you guys have a lot of different thoughts about a lot of different things, regardless, talking about what actually happened. So let's just get to it, boss. We all know Jaden Ivey is no longer a Detroit Piston. Kevin Huerter's now here, and Dario Saric, along with the Minnesota pick swap that we got from that trade. I've talked about it already, boss. I would have liked to see the Pistons let the season play out with the guys they had, just giving Jaden a chance to regain his footing, considering he missed 10 months before returning this year. I do see both sides. I would lie to you if I said I wasn't disappointed, though. You guys know how high I was on Jaden Ivey, and still am on Jaden Ivey. We can get to his box score a little bit later if you guys want. But I do think now that it's come and gone, can't really cry over spilled milk anymore. I think a fresh start for him is going to do wonders for his career. Being given patience and being given the opportunity. He knows he's not going anywhere. He knows he's going to be in Chicago, right? So he'll get a chance to grow with this team and not be afraid to make mistakes or step on toes and just kind of figure it out. Because they got a lot of guys over there now who are in the same boat he is in, as far as trying to figure it out, starting fresh, right? Anthony Simons, things like that. So I think that'll be great for him. I do think, boss, he is still going to be a star in this league. I'm not going to say the Pistons made a mistake out of respect, but I do feel like he is a guy that is going to have fans at times wishing he was still here. I'll leave it at that. But before we go any further, because I want to get your take, let's just hear what Coach Bickerstaff had to say first about Jaden's departure, and then I'm coming straight to you.
It's always tough. Like, this is a tough time of year for everybody involved. You build relationships with people, you care about people, and then tough business decisions have to be made. And that's why, as great as this league is, it comes with some emotional things that, just aren't always fun, but you have to deal with it. J.I. was awesome. The 2 years, year and a half we were together as a person, allowing me to coach him as a teammate, wanted to do whatever he could do to help his team win. Going through a lot of difficult situations, the way that he was playing to start the year last year, and then coming back and have to play a different role. A lot of guys wouldn't have been able to handle that. And I'm extremely appreciative of the way that he handled it, the way he continued to buy into the team and try to help the team be as successful as he could while he was here. And I don't think it was a thing that didn't work or couldn't work. I just feel like it's a great opportunity for him to go to a new place, get a fresh start, and, get an opportunity to explore where his game can go, and possibly a different role. Obviously, I don't know how they're going to use him over there or what they're going to do with him there. But again, I'm, just happy to have spent the time with him. And I don't think this is a situation where the word is it didn't work. I just feel like a business decision had to be made. And it gave J.I. an opportunity to get a fresh start. And hopefully it works out well for both of us.
So, Chad, what do you guys think that means? Like, what do you guys think he was trying to say there? And then, boss, I want to hear what you think he was trying to say there as well. Along with what you were going to say before that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to give my thoughts real quick, because here's the thing. Ivy's been my favorite for a few years. I was one of the fans, and I'm sure many of you in the chat are, that I watched every game for the past few seasons, whether we won 14 or won 43. Like, I watched every single game. If I had something to do, I watched it and kept my phone off. I watched it without any spoilers. Like, Ivy, just forever one of my favorite players. And the way that people were picking up on his body language, me included, chat, you guys as well. And just the way that wasn't a fan of his low minutes. I'm not going to say a fan of his play. I just think he was never, ever, this season, he was not given the opportunity with extended minutes to make an impact. And so tonight we saw him go to the Bulls. He started, he played 33 minutes. He did very well. Not like, people in here were like, when's Ivy going to have a 20-point game? He didn't have that. We had great assists. I watched a little bit of it because it was on Amazon Prime. I thought he played great off of
I gotta watch it. Yeah, okay.
Simons, who was also new to the team. They kind of have a lot of new people. The Bulls. So
yeah.
And I'm kind of glad we didn't, send him to I'd rather him be at a young team like the Bulls than like the Clippers or the Kings. I think this will be a great fresh start for him. And I'm rooting for nothing but his career. And that's kind of what I think JB was reiterating too. And I think, unfortunately, the injury did set him back in the fact that we had to bring in somebody for the starting lineup. And Duncan never wavered. He kind of proved that, he deserved to start and then with Jenkins coming up, he also, kind of proved that he can do it as well. And I'm going to compare it to Jared McCain and VJ Edgecombe, because last year, Jared McCain for the Sixers, Rookie of the Year candidate before he was injured. He played so well. His averages were high. He was exciting, all this stuff. He gets injured for a long time, can't come back right away. They get VJ Edgecombe, the rookie. VJ kind of takes the spot. Sixers got to be like, well, what do we got to do? So they traded McCain, unfortunately, to the Thunder. The rich get richer. But
right. Of course.
So that's just kind of how I see it, is that like I think if we didn't have Jenkins show up, and do what he did, and it's not Jenkins' fault. I'm really happy for Danish Jenkins as well, but it might have been a different scenario. I'm like you. I would have loved to see him more here, but the change in his demeanor from what I saw on social media and also just in this Bulls game, he's excited for this new opportunity. Yeah. And like anything in life, sometimes it just takes a refresh to feel like yourself again. And maybe that's just what J.I. needed. And tonight, he kind of proved that with the Bulls too. So I'm excited for him going forward. For me, the trade deadline, because I'll just get out some of my thoughts now that we can just branch off of, but the trade deadline was kind of a little bit lackluster overall for teams.
Yeah.
There were a couple guys on the wire that got traded that I would have rather had than Herter. I would have rather had Dosunmu from the Bulls. He's a more dynamic scorer. He's younger. Nice. I like him a lot. I honestly would have probably gone for Sexton. Just a couple other guys. Yeah. Malik Monk. Yeah, but he wasn't traded.
Of course, so, I know. I'm just saying.
Because like
you mean like actual guys who were okay.
Yeah, because I could have gone into Najee Marshall, Royce O'Neal. I could have gone on I wanted. The guys that actually were moved as the time went on, I was kind of more like, why not them? And so that was just more the frustrating thing. And I think the biggest thing for me, guys, is that the two people that are right behind us, the two teams that a lot of people have coming out of the East still over us, the Knicks and the Celtics, they got better immediately.
Yeah.
When you look at us and you say Herter, you say, if he develops his shot back, sure. But it's an if. The Celtics got Vucevic. The Celtics needed a center. They have Keita, who has stepped up a lot, but they needed a center. And now they have a center that can not only shoot threes, but can, get the rebounds. And he's always been, Duran and him have always clashed. Like, it's a good center. Nikola Vucevic is a great center. And the Celtics upped their team with that acquisition. And then the Knicks, I believe, especially not having to get rid of Clarkson or anyone, upped their game with a guy like Alvarado, who's going to be coming behind Brunson.
That was a good pickup for them.
Very good pickup. So I think for me, I'm just more with the trade deadline is, of course, I'm going to give Herter a chance. It is what it is. We can't change nothing. We just better waive Saric. waive Saric. But
I agree.
But I'm just more like the teams that are the biggest threats to us, got better.
Yeah.
And we've been able to beat those. Okay, we've been able to beat those teams without Ivy and without Herter. We've been able to. Ivy was injured. We've beaten them. Ivy had low minutes. We've beaten them. We've been able to do that with those teams. So they're upping themselves to come for us. And our role this year is still, like Trajan has said, it is more of an evaluation year. I think these moves that he made are going to pay off in the offseason. But I do think that a lot of people were like, trade Ivy, we need to get better right now. I don't think we got better right now necessarily. You can't say, we can't predict. We don't know. Well, I can say for the other two teams that they did. But for us, I can't say like, oh, we got, I was just looking more for like, if we brought in a Sexton or we brought in a Desumu or someone like that, I would say our shooting got better now and we can use them as an offseason asset. I don't know what the market will be for Kevin Herter if he's not hitting his threes. His contract is up though.
That's the whole point. That's the point. If it doesn't
work
out, it's more salary cap for you to use to go make another move in the offseason. So
that's more my thing is like, people were anxious to make a move. They were anxious to get Ivy off of our team. But like, I don't know if anyone can say like that we're better. Like,
well, I mean, we're not going to know until we see it anyway, though. Even the guys in different cities, it may look like it's going to work on paper, but that's why we're not doing anything yet. That's why let's just play this clip that JB had to say about Herter first, and we'll come back.
Okay.
You know, he's a complete basketball player. He's versatile in the things that he can do. You know, obviously the ability to make shots, but he has the ability to make plays. He can play the pick and roll. He's an elite cutter, understanding spacing and, you know, just his ability to process the game as a whole. You know, as a person, he's going to fit right in. He's a great dude who understands the situation that he's coming into, you know, and what these guys have already accomplished. So, you know, he's not here to rock the boat by any means, but he's here to help and contribute. And we feel like his skill set can do that.
So here's what I think is happening. I think the Pistons, like I mentioned, you guys, like I said earlier, I would have liked to have kept Jaden Ivey on the squad going forward just because of his potential that I think he does possess. But here's what I think is happening. I think the Pistons like Herter because he's a good system player. Even though Jaden is definitely the more naturally gifted athlete and player with the higher ceiling, you know, at this point, it seems like they want guys right now who can fit into their system, even if they aren't the most talented, who can be a star in their role the best. And we know I've watched Herter. He has a pretty good IQ. He's a smart player. He can spread the floor, and he's a good mover without the basketball. So what I see with him, I honestly see like a slightly shorter Duncan Robinson with a little more defense. And so I think you'll see Cade and Duncan running together, you know, and I think you'll see Danis and Herter running together. The same thing, even the way they're built with the point guard, shooting guard combination, their skill sets are similar. I think we're going to see that. And hopefully, I think they're hoping that Herter's stroke returns. We know he struggled last year. I know he didn't shoot well last year. 31%. He hasn't shot well the last few years. He's still 37% overall, but it hasn't been great the last 2 years. And you mentioned Giddey. He has played with a point guard like Giddey. I think they're hoping that having a guy like Cade, who is leading the league in assists, by the way, and Dennis Jenkins, who is a really good point guard, two pure point guards. I think they're hoping that he's going to be able to get better quality shots consistently playing with those guys. And I'm hoping, boss, if we get the Sacramento Kings version of Kevin Herter, that's the version I'm hoping. I know the last year he was there wasn't great, but the year when they pushed the Warriors to 7 games, the year the Warriors won the chip, if he becomes that guy again, then I think they'll think it'll have been a good trade because he was a very good system player for that team. And I think even though the skill level is different between him and J.I., I think for what they're looking for right now, considering the contract situation, I think they were trying to find a guy, if they had to trade J.I., to at least be able to give you that at a high level in that role.
So I agree with you. The thing is like they're kind of betting on him getting his shot back with 30 games left. You know? So that's kind of the risk that they're taking. So for me, it just would have, you know, I would have liked to see. I think that getting a guy like Ayo Dosunmu who's young, and I think that he would have just. I think there's other guys that we could have gotten that have been hot. And the thing is, Herter hasn't been hot, and now we're kind of relying on him.
You're right. I agree.
And
I
so,
agree.
and again, like, of course, we're rooting for that. I'm rooting for that. Go Red Velvet, as they call him. He has a nickname for a reason, you know? So he can do it. I'm just hoping that he's able to find that faster. And so that's the whole thing is like, if we're not going, and again, people in the comment message chats too, like, I wanted a bigger guy. I wanted a bigger presence, because if we wanted 3-point shooting, we have some guys that can. And so what's holding that back? So, but I do think it is more of a money thing, because we talked about this already. Because if Ivy stayed, I do think he had a good chance of being traded in the offseason in a package. So I'm not saying that Ivy would have stayed and then like found it and we would have signed him to the contract he wanted. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I don't see. I think this just keeps us at the same level as where we're at. Maybe just a guy with that, you know. And I think they kind of did a favor. JB had talked about in another press conference about a guy who maybe wants to move on. So I for Ivy's sake, I'm happy for Ivy. For us, I'm excited for her to, again, I liked the small things that I saw about him tonight. If he can find his shot, wonderful. Again, guys, Duncan didn't start hitting his shots either. So, and maybe with the right environment, we talked about the importance of team chemistry and what it can do for players. And maybe the chemistry here will help him get that back. It's kind of crazy. It's a mental game as well, you know? So, and I saw some people mention the Cavs also kind of one-upping with James Harden. So I'm actually pretty lucky. On Monday, I'm a little sad because I'll miss this podcast because it's Pistons versus Hornets, who are hot tonight. Yeah. Did they win tonight? Because they haven't won 8 in a row since like 2000. And I think they had a game.
Did. I think they did. Go ahead.
I get to see Nuggets versus Cavs on Monday. Harden, Mitchell, and Schroeder, to me, screams no ball movement. So,
they
all do it. I just think it's going to butt heads. I don't think it like you said. Okay, Hornets did win. Like you said earlier, like we don't know how Vucevic will work. We don't know how Zubac went to the Pacers. We don't know how he will work. We don't know how Alvarado will work in the Knicks. Yeah, of that and the Cavs, the most likely to clash and not work to me is the Cavs. Just because of I don't know. Harden seems to have a hard time everywhere he goes, and I don't know.
It's a swing for the fences. It's a swing for the fences. They got to do something because Donovan Mitchell's right in his prime. So I think that's what it's about now. I don't know. It's hard for me to even focus on those teams right now because I'm trying to figure out what it is we're doing.
I'm just talking about trade deadline overall, but it is going to be a big offseason for me. So, like we talked about.
Let me say this about Herder because I still got some stuff to get off of Herder.
Yes.
This may not be popular, but I'm not gonna pass judgment on him yet, y'all. Like, is this the trade I wanted? No, not at all. This is not what I wanted. If you know me, you know that's the case for sure. But I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go back to guys in the past who were brought here and what the expectation level was based compared to what we've gotten. Mm-hmm. Like you think about Tobias Harris when he first got here, 2 years, $52 million. Most fans said that he was overpaid, especially after what he did the previous year in the playoffs against the Sixers when he didn't score 1 point in that final game, right? The whole crumble cookie thing and how he wasn't getting any respect, and not like we're bringing him here. That's the move. I don't think anybody is complaining about Tobias Harris being overpaid, right? That's one. THJ, when he came here, started last year.
Now
nobody cared. Nobody cared. Right now, everybody wants him back. He came here and had a resurgent season after not playing much against the Celtics in the finals. He didn't play at all, right? He made a ton of big shots for us. He was a solid defender, and he could fit with this team now, like you just said, boss. Fans want him back. They miss him. He wasn't the most talented. He wasn't the most skilled, but he was a star in his role. Exactly, Bright. Exactly, Michael. 100%. So, and now we're seeing him parlay what he did last year into a whole nother level with the Nuggets right now, right? And Pistons fans miss him. Let's keep it moving. Malik Beasley. When Malik Beasley got here last year, nobody really cared. Oh, he was cool with the Bucks, I guess. T-Wolves, he was all right. Nobody thought he was a needle mover. So he ended up being the second leading scorer on his team last year. He did off the bench. He shattered the Pistons' 3-point record, just destroyed it. That was held by Sadiq Bey. And he was a big part of why we had that success.
Yeah.
You know, he gave this team a confidence. The vibes were high. The shimmy shake, all these different intangible things that he brought that nobody thought would happen when he first got here. They're saying now, same thing with Beast. We need him back. When's Beast come back? What's going on with his situation? All these different things, right? All these things we feel now that paired that kind of nobody cared about these guys when they first got here. Nobody cared. So now this year, Duncan Robinson, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with Duncan Robinson. We lost Beasley. Duncan ain't gonna be to replace it. You know, Duncan's a poor man's THJ. I don't think anybody. I was part of it too. I thought that was like a consolation prize for missing out on getting Beasley back.
It's
right?
normal,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, nobody at this point can be disappointed with how he's played.
No,
nobody. He has probably exceeded expectations based on what we thought he was going to get as far as putting the ball on the floor. Oh, I know he had that. Well, he can do that too. Oh, okay, that's nice. Defense is better than I thought, right? So all these guys, we did not expect them to do anything or be impactful in any way or to live up to the contract when they first got here. I was burned before. So I'm not going to pass any judgment on Kevin Huerter before I see him play with these guys. He deserves that because and JB and Trajan deserve that respect based on the guys they have had come here and had career years, some of them.
Yeah.
Right? So just based on that alone, I'm going to give Kevin Huerter a fair shot. I'm not saying I expect him to be better than Jaden Ivey because he ain't going to be. But what I'm saying is that I think he has a possibility to really exceed expectations just based on the signings they've made before and how those have worked out.
And, you know, we talked about it, you know, the last chat we had, all of us were really disappointed in the trade. We were like, there needs to be another move. There needs to be another move. So it just goes, you know, again, and I said it, I've seen people in the chat say it. These guys are on our team. You either root for them or you're angry every game. You either root for them or you're disappointed every game. Yeah, that's up to you. And again, we talked about it. I'm not thrilled about having a guy who's on the decline. Does that mean that he can't work out for us? No. Someone said earlier the common denominator is right here. Yeah, the common denominator is JB. Maybe he works fantastically under JB. It took Duncan about 20, 25 games to get into it. Huerter's already, again, I saw the effort tonight. He's already someone that, you know, if you look at him, he does stay in front of his guy. Like he knows how to play defense. I think, so I think, you know, it's not like that was my thing with MPJ. I don't think he would just mesh well immediately with our defensive scheme. Huerter, I think, can. It's just about kind of like, you know, we brought you here to shoot, so you got to make your shots. And like you said, we're going to give him a chance.
That's all I'm saying.
We're also not saying, none of us are saying that
I'm not saying he's trash after one game playing 6 minutes going over 2. I'm not doing that.
And we're also not saying, oh yeah, this guy's got a 3-year contract with us. Like we're saying, we brought him in to help our main guys who have done their part this season to get to the first place spot, get as far as possible, and bringing in some offensive help. You all wanted a shooter. Yes, we could have gotten different, but we have Huerter who can't get into a rhythm. I'm excited. And I personally, the way that what I've heard about him in my research too is, again, we talked about, you mentioned Beasley, his locker room presence. All I've heard is that Huerter has such good locker room presence. And again, the chemistry just feeds into it. So I feel like with that and with the trust of your teammates and with this stuff, you know, knowing that, you know, Cade's giving you the ball because he trusts you, not because he has no other options. Like, because the Bulls, if you ever watch them play this season, they just kind of throw the ball around until someone throws it up.
Yeah.
The Pistons kind of have, you know, more of a scheme of things. Like he's throwing it. And we've seen Cade do this with everybody. He'll give it to Wu 2 times in a row to make it, you know, he'll give it to Ron 2 times in a row, even if Ron's in the corner. Like you just trust each other. So we're going to see how it goes forward. But this definitely, I think Deuce and I definitely agree on the fact that this was more looking into the off season because now we have expiring contracts. Now we're not expected to pay JI anything. Again, this is kind of why, and Duran needs to get paid too. We got and stuff like that. And there's some guys that, I mean, I'll just say it. Trey Murphy was someone that's a favorite for a lot of us.
That was my favorite. Now that all this Trey stuff is over, that was number one on my list was Trey Murphy. 100%.
And I think the thing for me was just like, I thought that the Ivy in a package would have done great for Trey, but we still have enough, especially in the offseason. Dumars made it clear. Joe Dumars is the GM down there. He made it clear that they weren't going to do anything. They weren't going to move him via trade deadline, so he'd be available in the offseason. So yeah, I think Trajan has, if we're all on it, they are too. So they know that there's weapons out there that we could utilize, and maybe not right now, but in the future. And this is a team that we want to last. We don't want to be the 2019 Raptors. We don't want to be people that just like we just get everything for because we can even say, like, even if you were an Ivy, if you're iffy about Ivy, or you're just like, I don't care if he stays where he goes, I think he's going to do great in his career. And that's like, you don't want to send away young guys that are going to do amazing. I don't really know. Can you think of anyone off the top of your head that the Pistons have sent away that has done fantastic?
Chris Middleton.
I mean, he's done good, but he's not done fantastic.
No, he was great when he left here. He spent the rest of his career with the Bucks. All-star. Yeah.
Okay.
He played his rookie year, and I was like, bro, he played good that year. Like,
I'll give you that. But like I was sad about Sadiq Bey leaving, and Sadiq is still having a good career, but is he fantastic? No. So like, especially with these young guys.
He's not. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Go ahead.
It's more like these young guys, these young Ron, Asar. Like, most of our team is under 25 years old.
Yep.
Like, these young guys can, Middleton. I see Brucey B down there.
Yeah, Bruce Brown.
Like, but young guys, like, they can thrive in other scenarios, but the way that they're playing right now is just going to do wonders for their career. Like, Ron thrives under the Detroit culture and the JB coaching. So does Asar. So does Stu. So does Wu. Even though he's a little older, he wants a home. Like, all of these young guys, I would be scared to lose. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
From Sass, from Chaz to Sass, to Ron to Asar, any of these young guys, I'm like, they can make a lot. So growing with us is the fun part. It can get impatient, especially guys. And we just had such big jumps these past few years. I saw someone earlier being like, LOL, like someone said the Wizards are going to be good next year. They're going to be a problem when they've only won 14 games. Excuse me. We were a problem after 14 games, a 14-game season. You just don't know.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about it too before, is that like the Knicks are getting older. The Celtics are getting older. Teams are getting older. The Bucks are getting older.
Yep.
And so if we keep our young core, while it might be impatient, we get to see these guys continue to grow. And that's another thing that kind of sucks about Ivy, is that we did have him for his young years and he did show a lot, but it was during our adjustment years. It was during we don't really have a set path here. It was basically during our non-JB and non-Trajan years.
Exactly.
He didn't
exactly what it was.
And so now he gets to start that. And that's all I could hope for, a guy that I, want to see thrive in this league and who I think is a great basketball player, is to go live up to those basketball dreams and go do what you can do. And so, yeah, I think the hardest thing is just impatience. And I'm not saying that this trade made us a champion this year, but our core has been able to get this far regardless. And so we have flexibility to let this core grow this year, continue to grow this year, and add something next year as well.
I said it before, man. I think that's a good point take that you made.
All right, I'm on a long rant.
No, you're fine. But there's some players now who may be available in the offseason that are not available right now. That was one thing that the Pelicans did say. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but the Pelicans did say that they're taking those guys off the table, like the Trey Murphys of the world, Zion. They're off the table for now. But come off season, it could be a different situation, and we are going to have some cap flexibility. Like, if let's just say Hurd doesn't work out, that's $17 million off the books, right? Who knows what Tobias is doing after this year? His contract is up. That's another $26 million, right?
He could resign cheap for us.
He could resign cheap, right? And just be a vet, right? Be a Udonis Haslam type. Who knows what his plans are? But the point is that we're going to have options after this season. It's not just about the trade deadline, and it's not just about this year. That's what we like. I think so many people have gotten so hung up on just this year, and like it has to happen this year. It's not a guarantee regardless of who we got in the trade this year, that we would have won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
There's no guarantee at all. So, like you said, we don't want to be the 2019. Every time we've won, it's been because we've had sustained runs. I'm used to going to the conference finals a few years in a row at least. When we're playing well, right? That's the point of it. And so that's what they're building towards. So I would have liked to have J.I. still be part of that young core. I understand you can't keep everybody, and I think they probably felt the same way. We all talked about it too. Like, you can't pay all these young guys. I guess the one that kind of got caught in the crossfire was J.I. because of circumstance. So, it's good for him that he's there now, but for the most part, we do have our young core together, and it's easier to build around the margins than it is to go and replace all your young core guys and just change the identity of the team.
And I do want to say, because I mean, look at like who was the team that traded away Shea and Luka?
Clippers. The Clippers traded Shea back in 2019.
Was it the Mavs? Someone? Okay, maybe I'm thinking of like Tyrese too. There was a team that traded a bunch of. Oh, it was the Mavs. There was like Tyrese and Brunson, and they just kept trading away young talent.
The main guys,
right now. But I do want to say, because I see some comments, I am mad that it's Chicago. I
am too.
As much as I was like,
as far as a Piston perspective, because
I can't. And I'm from Chicago. I have a lot of friends there. Like, I hate Chicago. So it was a little bit of a bummer. I was kind of hoping he get moved again, so I could be like, at least it's not Chicago Bulls. So that it does suck when they get traded in divisions. I don't know why we keep giving them our guys, Ben Wallace, Lindsey Hunter, Dennis Rodman. They all played for the Bulls, that they played for the Pistons, which is just like, but the good news is, I mean, Ivy will thrive there, but the Bulls definitely aren't they're not contenders like we are for a few years either. They're just figuring their stuff out too. So this at least, and who knows, I don't know how long Ivy will stay there, but I think he wanted to be a starter, and he gets that opportunity, and I think he's just going to shine. And I will say, as someone from Chicago, that Chicago sports fans will love him dearly. They're passionate about their players as much as we are. So, but I do agree that it just sucks that it's a division trade. It's kind of like when, Turner went to the Bucks, even though, it's just like, why? We're division rivals, but yeah.
Yeah. This could be true too. He could take the qualifying offer for $13 million next year, and had like $30 million cap hold on our flex. So I get it. Like, I understand why it played out the way it did. I just wish we didn't have to, but sometimes some things are unavoidable. So yeah, man. The last thing I'll say, boss, is, and you mentioned it earlier, I'm not worried when we're right. Like, as long as we keep this core together, I'm not really worried about anybody else in the East as far as we could continue to make improvements internally and around the margins. If we do that, I'm not worried about anybody who's healthy, who comes back, who does what, as long as because that's part of why fans were upset we didn't make a move, because everybody around us was making moves. It's like peer pressure. Oh man, they didn't caught up to us. We gotta. You don't always have to do that. That's not always the answer. And Trajan Langdon comes from San Antonio. They don't make trades at the trade. They're not that kind of a team. He's not that kind of a GM. The Spurs don't do that, and they've been good forever. They always been in the mix. So that's not always the answer. Just because you're seeing your other, your counterparts doing this and doing that. Now I gotta match that. No, bro. Like, trust in your internal growth and what you got going.
And I do want to say, margins. Regular season, it's great to be at top. I want to stay at top the whole way. I want to finish the season at number 1, but that means nothing come playoff time. It means the teams you face, but Cavs are number 1, and they got being number 1 doesn't make you automatically the champion. So, so if the Bulls and the Knicks and the Celtics are going to be a problem for us the rest of the season. We have a 4.5 lead right now over both. Tomorrow, if we win, it'll jump back up to 5.5. If we lose, it'll go down to 3.5. 3.5 is still a good cushion. 5.5 is still a great cushion. You just don't know what happens. But it determines teams you play in the playoffs. But all 8 teams have the same chance to win the championship. So I also just remind myself of that. Like, it would suck to drop down to 2, to drop down to 3.
Even if we don't finish first, I'm still not worried. Just as long as we're playing right at the right time, bro.
I just want to remind all that too.
Top
it's
4.
not going to be
First
Don't
round
think
playoff series, home court.
we
Our
were
only
in
2
the,
wins last year on the road. So go
we
ahead.
were number 15 for years in a row. Last year we were, got to number 6. We avoided the play-in. People had us predicted in top. People had us number 4 behind the Magic and the Hawks, and so to be number 1 for this long, just don't think that if we fall, which I don't think we will. I don't think we will. If we fall to number 2 or number 3, it's not gonna be. You're not gonna say, "Oh, this is the end." No.
As long as we're playing well,
right?
That's the key.
Oh, exactly. But
as
we would have
long
been
as we're
thrilled.
peaking at the right time. If we're falling in the standings because we just don't look good, then I'm a little concerned.
That's different. That's just
that's
more
different, right? Exactly.
But that's like tonight. Like we can't, and hopefully, this will wake them up. This is kind of the playoff push. We can't be losing games like this,
right?
And then
exactly.
going against teams that are right behind us, like we are tomorrow.
Exactly.
Hopefully it's another BTA against the Knicks. I wasn't expecting that the first time. I'm not expecting it tomorrow, but could happen.
Over this one, yeah,
could happen. So, we just remember, like,
and you know what?
Same thing.
Now that I think about it, I never said this is a back-to-back and it's gonna be tough. When we beat the Knicks, that came right after we had played the Cavs in the back-to-back, and that was on the road. That was another back-to-back.
Back-to-back, yeah.
Right. So it ain't like they should just be dog tired. We should see energy and effort tomorrow, especially after tonight. I know it's a back-to-back. It's a young team. They've shown before after playing a tougher team than the Wizards and the Cavaliers, and being in a different city and having to come back the next night. They're still here, right? Yeah. So I don't expect to see any lack of energy tomorrow night, despite it being a back-to-back, because they've shown when they get up for games and when they play the way they're supposed to, they can perform. So I'm not worried about that. But you did mention the East is trying to catch up to the Pistons, and you're right, because I mean, look, the thing is, like, we're the blueprint now, guys. I heard after we played the Cavs, that same Cavs game, when they went, what's their coach's name, boss? The Cavs coach.
Oh,
Kenny Atkinson.
Yes.
Right. I saw his presser after that game really quick, and it was just crazy because just how quickly things can turn, because they were asking him in the post game, what do you think you guys have to do to get to the Pistons level? That's what they asked him. And I was expecting him to be like,
oh yeah,
to feel like disrespected. Like, what you mean? Just look like they just got here. But he was like, hey man, we got some work to do. They got a great team over there. That's what we're trying to get to. And it's just like, whoa, that's crazy. So my point is that teams are making these moves. They're trying to catch up to us. They're trying to follow our blueprint. That's why they're getting bigger. They see JD and Stu playing together and how physically imposing that is, and how long our wings are, and how tough we are with Asar and Ron and Javante, Deep Peel, MK, like all these. They see all these things. They're like, we gotta match that. We gotta fight fire. Let's go get Ivica Zubac if we're Indiana. Let's go get Nikola Vucevic if we're the Celtics. We gotta get bigger. We gotta get bigger. Like Namias Keita and Luka Garza, they can't do nothing with them guys. They had to go get Vucevic. So like these teams are trying to catch up to us. It's just kind of funny to see it.
I do want to say what's won us games is our defense. I've heard earlier when he scores. Vooch and Harden don't add defense.
No, they don't. That's a desperate move. That Cavs move is a desperate move. That was a desperate move.
So it's not. They just want more scoring because they just want to just score more.
Yep.
Which we make it harder for teams to do. Mm-hmm. So our defense has won us games, no matter how much we want to argue about.
Tobias Harris over me. Shout out Jimmy Butler. Go ahead.
No matter how much we want to, argue about scoring, we're still first in the East with 13 losses, and we've done it off of defense, and our offense has been enough. Yes, we need a little more, but our offense has been enough because of our defense.
Yeah,
so these other teams have just added more offense.
Yep.
Good luck then.
Yeah.
Because we still have our defense. So
I still feel like we're the best team in the East.
Oh my gosh.
I still feel that way. Regardless, I know this. Go ahead. Yeah, even after, well, yeah.
And tomorrow's a national game, right? Oh my God.
Yep, another national game, and it's on Amazon Prime. And guys, we're gonna be broadcasting live for that tomorrow night. We're gonna, as you guys, per your request, we're going to be having doing our live reaction right here in the Downtown Deuce channel. So have your alerts turned on for that. We're going to look forward to doing that again. Second game we're doing, boss, live against the Knicks. So that should be fun. right?
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Oh, we haven't done
Did we do the next game? I'm trying to remember. We didn't do the next game, did we? We said the
we
Rockets. That's right. You're right. You're right.
Who did we lose against? The Suns? Yeah, Rockets and Suns.
Rockets, we lost to. Yeah, and Suns. Yeah. No. We did the Denver game. We did the Rockets game and the Nuggets game, right?
Not Nuggies.
Wasn't the Nuggets? I can't remember. All these games run together. We beat somebody the second game we played. I forgot.
Yeah, we lost to the Rockets first, but we beat the Knicks. The first Knicks game was nationally broadcast, but we didn't live
stream that one. So
yeah.
All right. So guys, it's 2.5 hours in. We are going to call it a night, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
On a loss.
We appreciate y'all for hanging around, for sure, man. But the Pistons, they're gonna get their rest tonight because they're back at it tomorrow. Right back at LCA against the Knicks, and it won't be quite as easy because, like I mentioned earlier, they know what happened to them last time on national TV. They got embarrassed. It was pure BTA on a national platform. So they are not going to forget that. I'm sure they're going to come back with a chip on their shoulder for sure. So the Pistons got to make sure they bring it because it's going to be, I think, a more competitive game. Not just because of that, but because they're playing well now. They're playing much better now. They're hot right now. So the Pistons got to bring it. So we'll see. Anything else on that, boss, before we get out of here?
I will just say that the Knicks did play the Nuggets in their last game, double overtime. And I told you guys the Nuggets were a comeback team, and they did that to the Knicks, and the Knicks couldn't hold them off like we did. They had to go to double overtime to win. So yeah, I just wanted to say that about the Knicks. But we'll see. They're going to come out strong and hot. It's going to be a challenge, but I guess for some reason we seem to be playing the challenging teams better. I would just hope it's another BTA. That'd be so funny.
That'd be hilarious if we did it to them again, in the midst of their 8-game winning streak after that bad loss we had yesterday on a back-to-back. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Yeah. So hopefully Stu's feeling better because I want to see him. I want to see that dog go with that cat.
And JD,
of course, for sure. So
and Cade.
Yeah, all these guys, man, for sure. So we'll leave it there, guys. We appreciate you for showing up and showing out as you guys always do. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. So like we always say, we appreciate all the love and support you guys give us. This has been a fun show. A lot of great discourse. Y'all going crazy in the comments. Y'all had us dying. I was trying to hold my laugh back reading some of y'all's comments. So, but we appreciate it, man. We definitely appreciate it. So we hope everybody has a great night. Looking forward to seeing you in the live stream tomorrow night when we go live. So once again, make sure your alerts are turned on and ready for that. And we're going to have a lot of fun again. So with that, guys, y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of King 9. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear your shade. Talking that shop, you must run this way. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. Mess around.